My wife is a beautiful CEO. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 676, Dealing with Su Chen. Yuzhenbei rushed forward. He used his vital energy to protect Liu Shaohang and gently pulled him out of the wall. At this time, Liu Shaohang was barely breathing and his body was soaked in blood. He looked like he was going to die. Su Chen, you are looking for death. Yuzhenbei roared angrily. At this time, he even wanted to skin Su Chen alive. You two, what are you still doing? Yuzhenbei shouted at Jindanglei. Go get the medicine. Get the medicine. If Shaohang gets into trouble, you two think about what will happen to you. Jindanglei has been in control of the Dan group for so long, and his family is big and powerful. Yuzhenbei didn't believe that he didn't have a life-extending elixir. Jindanglei immediately agreed. Yes, yes, yes. Find the medicine. I'll go find the medicine right away. His face was extremely nervous, but his heart was extremely contemptuous. With Liu Shaohang's miserable appearance, he felt that, no matter what elixir he took, he would not be able to recover, and it would just be a waste of resources. However, before he completely broke up with the Liu family, he still had to do a good job of superficial disguise. Yuzhenbei kept injecting vitality into Liu Shaohang to extend his life. He even took out a life-saving talisman that he treasured, and gave it to Liu Shaohang. He looked so nervous, as if Liu Shaohang was his own son. After stabilizing Liu Shaohang's breath, Yuzhenbei immediately called Chen Zifeng. Inspector Yu, do you have any instructions? Chen Zifeng asked. Yuzhenbei immediately shouted. Chen Zifeng, immediately ask the young genius Dr. Zhang Ke to bring the healing medicine to Dan group to treat Shaohang. Quick. Chen Zifeng was shocked. Liu Shao was injured? What happened to him? Yuzhenbei didn't have the heart to explain to him, and directly roared. I asked you to find someone, so go find someone for me. Let Zhang Ke come quickly. Inspector Yu. Chen Zifeng hesitated and reminded. This morning, Zhang Ke was sent out by you personally, to carry out the mission with the team. Yuzhenbei was stunned when he heard this. He then remembered that, in order to avoid the guys who were close to Su Chen and the tiger guards from getting in the way, they had already sent these people far away. Yuzhenbei's face was ugly, and he roared. Do you mean to let Shaohang wait for death? She went out. Can't you call her back? Send a helicopter to pick her up for me, can't you? In addition, you must find the best master in Dongzhou province for me immediately. I tell you, Shaohang is the beloved grandson of the Liu family's patriarch. If he survives, it's fine. If he dies here, just imagine how big a storm it will cause. Chen Zifeng's face changed drastically. The Shangjing Liu family was furious, and he couldn't bear such consequences. He hurriedly said, Inspector Yu, don't worry, I will arrange it right away. Click. The phone was hung up. Yuzhenbei quickly called an ambulance and sent Liu Shaohang to the provincial capital Central Hospital. On the other side, Chen Zifeng hung up the phone and sighed. His face was uncertain. Now, he joined forces with the Shangjing Liu family in Jinglin Villa to deal with Su Chen. As a result, before Su Chen got into trouble, Liu Shaohang was seriously injured and dying. Although Yuzhenbei didn't say what happened, Chen Zifeng felt that this matter was related to Su Chen. But Su Chen, how could he be under the protection of a powerful god? Chen Zifeng's heart was shrouded in a haze. However, he still hurriedly set off and rushed out. Central Hospital. Outside the intensive care unit, Yuzhenbei paced back and forth, looking at Liu Shaohang who was being rescued. His face was full of anger. Inspector Yu, don't worry. I believe that Liu Shaohang will be fine. Chen Zifeng said, I have investigated clearly. It seems that there is only one divine doctor on the saint hand list in our Dongzhou province, and that is Lu Daoken, who is ranked 28th. It's just. Chen Zifeng stopped talking here. Just what? Before he could finish his words, Yuzhenbei angrily said, don't give me any excuses. I want you to find Lu Daoken at all costs. Chen Zifeng looked at Yuzhenbei's murderous eyes and didn't dare to say more. He quickly took out his phone and arranged for someone to invite Lu Daoken. In fact, he wanted to say that he heard that Lu Daokan had some relationship with Su Chen. However, looking at Yu Xinbei's current state, it seems that he doesn't care about anything except Liu Shaohang's life. After Chen Zifeng made the arrangements, he turned to look at Yu Xinbei. He said cautiously, "Inspector Yu, what should we do now? Is Su Chen's strength really that terrifying? He actually seriously injured Mr. Huang and even lost his combat effectiveness." Chen Zifeng felt that it was incredible. He had fought with Su Chen before. Indeed, Su Chen's strength is very strong. Even not as good as the average strongman who just entered the God realm. However, according to Chen Zifeng's feeling, if he was determined to take down Su Chen at that time, he could do it at a certain price. It's only been a few days. Su Chen's strength has changed dramatically. He can even seriously injure a strong man in the double God realm and then escape unscathed. Such a terrifying speed of improvement. In Chen Zifeng's heart, besides hatred for Su Chen, he couldn't help but feel fear. Fortunately, it was not him who faced Su Chen today. Otherwise, I'm afraid I might not survive. Chen Zifeng regretted it in his heart. If he had known that Su Chen's growth rate was so terrifying, he should have killed Su Chen at all costs. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let the tiger run wild now. However, when Yu Xinbei heard this, his face was cold and his eyes were filled with uncontrollable murderous intent. Humph. Yu Xinbei snorted coldly. He is just a Yuan-Ki Xianshan realm. Even if he is lucky enough to enter the Vajrahat realm through body refining, what can he do? With our current combat power, will we be afraid of him? We have 2 mid-level God realm warriors from Jinglin Villa, plus Taozan who is in the double God realm, and you and me, a total of 5 God realm warriors. With such a strong Linoop, don't you think we can't control him? Even if Su Chen is a monster, a unique genius in the world, he is vulnerable in front of us. Chen Zifeng's face was happy. He was indeed a little worried. With such combat power, it can be said that he can sweep through Dongzhou. Originally, after reading Su Chen's information, Yu Xinbei still wanted to recruit him. This even made Chen Zifeng very worried, and he said a lot of bad things about Su Chen, but Yu Xinbei didn't take it to heart. Unexpectedly, Yu Xinbei now has such a strong desire to kill Su Chen because of Liu Shaohang. Chen Zifeng was even more satisfied. Yu Xinbei ordered Chen Zifeng, "Now, go back and gather some people. When Shaohang's condition stabilizes, I will come to you, and I will personally lead people to capture Su Chen. He dares to attack Shaohang without scruples, so we don't need to give him any face. Everything should be done according to the rules of the Tiger Guard." Chen Zifeng was overjoyed when he heard this. He nodded immediately and turned back to the Tiger Guard to make arrangements. Now, the chief of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province is not in Dongzhou province, and Qin King Mui has also been designed out by him. Now, he uses the power of the Tiger Guard to deal with Su Chen, and no one can stop him. End of update. It's still a little late. Sorry everyone. Good night everyone. Happy little new year. Chapter 677. Grasping the week of late autumn. Central Hospital of the provincial capital. Yu Xinbei spent a great deal of money and finally managed to stabilize Liu Shaohang's injuries. Liu Shaohang slowly woke up. He opened his eyes, saw Yu Xinbei, and asked weakly, "Uncle Yu, am I useless?" Liu Shaohang's face was full of sorrow. Although he was a playboy, he had the Shangjing Liu family behind him, and he also relied on countless resources to step into the Xianshan realm. Therefore, he also had a certain judgment of his physical condition. Liu Shaohang clearly remembered that when Su Chen attacked him, the powerful vitality directly shattered his bones and muscles. Moreover, the major acupoints all over his body were also pierced by the energy, and only 1 in 10 could be preserved intact. Now, not only can he not feel the vitality in his body, but even his hands and legs have lost consciousness. Looking at Liu Shaohang's miserable appearance, Yu Xinbei's expression froze, not knowing how to speak. Yu Xinbei said with red eyes, "Shaohang, you have to believe in Uncle Yu, believe in your grandpa. We will do our best to find the best doctor to heal you. No matter what the cost, I will make you better." Liu Shaohang's face turned pale. He naturally understood the meaning of Yu Xinbei's words. He was full of resentment and gritted his teeth and said, "Uncle Yu, kill Su Chen. Kill that bastard. I want him to die. Liu Shaohang's eyes were full of hatred. But at this moment, he couldn't even lose his temper. He was so weak that he blacked out after saying a few words, and it seemed that he might faint at any time. Shaohang, don't be excited. You should take good care of your injuries. Yu Zhenbei hurriedly comforted Liu Shaohang. He promised, Shaohang, don't worry. Uncle Yu will definitely avenge you. Not only will I kill Su Chen, I will also make him kneel down in front of you and kowtow to admit his mistakes before he dies. Aren't you looking at that woman from the Zhou family? As long as you recover from your injuries, Uncle Yu will bring that woman Zhou Wanqiu to you. Liu Shaohang, whose eyes were gradually becoming dull and desperate, suddenly brightened up after hearing Yu Zhenbei's words. The dull and lifeless pupils seemed to be injected with strength. Yes. How could he forget Zhou Wanqiu? Uncle Yu, I don't care whether Su Chen lives or dies. I want Zhou Wanqiu. You must catch Zhou Wanqiu for me. Liu Shaohang looked at Yu Zhenbei with crazy eyes. That's right. He is useless now. But as long as Zhou Wanqiu can be caught, there is still hope. Yu Zhenbei looked at Liu Shaohang deeply. Finally, he nodded solemnly and said, okay. Zhou Wanqiu can't run away. Don't worry. I will send her to your bed within 3 days. Yu Zhenbei has been living in the Liu family for many years. He had also heard that the Liu family targeted the Zhou family, seemingly because the Zhou family was hiding a huge secret. As for what this secret was, Yu Zhenbei didn't know. But looking at Liu Shaohang's appearance at this time, he guessed that this secret might be related to Zhou Wanqiu. Liu Shaohang has always been vindictive. Su Chen crippled him and almost took his life. According to Liu Shaohang's character, nothing should be more important than seeking revenge on Su Chen. But at this time, he actually put catching Zhou Wanqiu before revenge. This choice itself is enough to explain the problem. But Liu Shaohang didn't say it. Even if Yu Zhenbei was curious, it was not good to ask too much details. Yu Zhenbei waited until Liu Shaohang's condition stabilized, and then he told the good people to guard around the ward to protect Liu Shaohang. After that, Yu Zhenbei walked out of the hospital with murderous intent. Chen Zifeng, how are the manpower of the Tiger Guards prepared? Yu Zhenbei walked out of the hospital and couldn't wait to call Chen Zifeng. Chen Zifeng hurriedly said, Inspector Yu, I have arranged for Feng Linhei's Tiger Group to be on standby. Just wait for Inspector Yu's order and we can set off at any time. Fish seek fish, shrimp seek shrimp, and frog seeks toad. Although most of the members of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province are not very interested in Chen Zifeng, but there are also a few who are determined to follow him to the end. For example, Feng Linhei, the leader of the Tiger Group, can be regarded as Chen Zifeng's iron confidant. There was already hatred between Feng Linhei and Su Chen, and he wished that Su Chen would die sooner. Now that the two have the same goal, they are naturally tied more tightly. Yu Zhenbei said in a deep voice, now, you immediately use the Qin Tiger Guard to find out where Zhou Wanqiu is. Hearing this, Chen Zifeng was stunned. Aren't you going to catch Su Chen? He has prepared the manpower of the Tiger Guard. Why did he suddenly ask him to check Zhou Wanqiu? Chen Zifeng frowned slightly. He did realize that Liu Shaohang seemed to have set his sights on Zhou Wanqiu. Even Liu Shaohang's purpose of coming to Dongzhou province is Zhou Wanqiu. But isn't Liu Shaohang already useless? It's hard to say whether this guy can survive, and he is still thinking about women at this time. Chen Zifeng was puzzled. Liu Shaohang is so lustful that he wants Zhou Wanqiu even if he dies. Chen Zifeng suddenly became curious. What kind of woman is this Zhou Wanqiu, who is so charming? Chen Zifeng thought about it and asked carefully, that Inspector Yu, aren't we going to deal with Su Chen? Why do we suddenly want to arrest Zhou Wanqiu again? Yu Zhenbei's face turned cold and he scolded. I told you to investigate, so go and investigate. There are so many questions. How about I'll let you do this? The Dragon's Lair Inspector? Chen Zifeng smiled awkwardly. Inspector Yu, calm down. I'll go and investigate now. Click. The phone was hung up. Chen Zifeng's face turned black. Facing Yu Zhenbei, he had to be humble. After thinking about it, Chen Zifeng notified Feng Linhei, the leader of the Tiger Group, to come. Feng Linhei walked in and said, "Deputy guard, our team has been assembled. Can we set off now?" "Set off? Bullshit." Chen Zifeng cursed. "Wait a minute, the situation has changed." Feng Linhei was startled and asked, "What has changed?" Chen Zifeng said, "Now, send someone to check where Zhou Wanqiu, the president of Zhao's catering group, is." "Zhou Wanqiu?" Feng Linhei was stunned. He asked in confusion, "Deputy guard, aren't we going to arrest Su Chen? Why check her? Is Su Chen with Zhou Wanqiu?" Chen Zifeng glared and shouted, "Go check if I tell you to. There are so many questions. Do you want me, the deputy guard of the Tiger Guard, to do it? You give me the order and I'll execute it. How about that?" Feng Linhei trembled all over. He quickly apologized awkwardly, "I dare not. Deputy guard, please forgive me. I'll check now." Now, in the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province, the guard chief is not there, and Qin Qingmei, the captain of the special operations team, is not there either. The other two deputy guards were also on missions outside. The highest ranking one now was Chen Zifeng. All the groups below that had a good relationship with Su Chen, such as the Dragon Group, Rat Group, Monkey Group, Chicken Group, etc., were either not in the provincial capital, or were sent out by Chen Zifeng. It can be said that the current Tiger Guards were completely at the mercy of Chen Zifeng. He could issue orders against Su Chen and others without restraint. Chapter 678, Double God Guard. Feng Linhei ran out in a hurry to check Zhou Wanqiu's whereabouts. Seeing Feng Linhei's attitude, Chen Zifeng's anger finally came out a little. Yu Xinbei scolded him, and he scolded Feng Linhei, but at least he didn't keep it in his heart. "Damn it. It's more comfortable to scold people than to be scolded," Chen Zifeng muttered. Soon, Feng Linhei found out Zhou Wanqiu's whereabouts. As the president of Zhao's catering group, Zhou Wanqiu is also a rising star in the business world of Dongzhou province. After becoming famous at Yu Fue's business cocktail party last time, Zhou Wanqiu's reputation became even louder. In addition to Zhou Wanqiu's beautiful face, as long as she comes out to participate in the event, the news is not difficult to find out. In less than 10 minutes, Feng Linhei came back with an excited look on his face. He bowed to Chen Zifeng and said, "Deputy Chief of Health, I found out. Zhao's catering group seems to have won the food center project of Quinning Entertainment City in the provincial capital. Today, there is a project exhibition at Quinning Entertainment City, and Zhou Wanqiu also went there to participate. Now, she is at Quinning Entertainment City." Chen Zifeng asked seriously, "Are you sure? This matter needs to be reported to Yu Xinbei, and Chen Zifeng doesn't want to make a mistake." Feng Linhei nodded repeatedly. "Don't worry. This Quinning Entertainment City Food Center project is a springboard for Zhao's catering group to enter the provincial capital, and it is very important to her. Besides, I also sent my spies to confirm it on the spot." Chen Zifeng was finally relieved. He immediately took out his mobile phone and called Yu Xinbei to report the situation. Yu Xinbei nodded and said in a deep voice, "Very good. Now, you take people there first. I will be there soon." Then, he paused and said that Su Chen seems to be Zhou Wanqiu's secretary. The relationship between this woman and Su Chen is a bit ambiguous. If you touch her, Su Chen is likely to get impatient and take action directly. Just in case, you should notify Yi Changru and Lian Changsheng of Jinglin Villa first, and ask them to send at least one person. Now Yu Xinbei did not dare to look down on Su Chen at all. In fact, he completely treated Su Chen as a powerful enemy in the god realm. Chen Zifeng asked, "Do you want to notify Mr. Taozan?" "No need." Yu Xinbei snorted coldly. "He is healing the waste to Aung San Suu, and he also has to protect Xiao Hong. He can't leave." At this point, Yu Xinbei was very angry, and his heart was full of resentment towards Aung San Suu. Obviously, his realm was crushing Su Chen, but in the end, not only could he not protect Liu Xiao Hong, but in the end, he was even seriously injured by Su Chen. He was a middle stage immortal master, and a dual realm master. But what happened? He was beaten to the point of losing his fighting power by a guy in the innate realm and the yin yang realm. Even Yu Xinbei felt ashamed for Aung San Suu, and he was thrown from Shangjing to Dongzhou province. Now, not only was Aung San Suu's meridians injured, but his Niwen palace was also attacked by Su Chen. He could only call Taozan who was also an immortal master, to help him heal. Chen Zifeng heard Yu Xinbei's resentment and did not continue. He said repeatedly, "Okay, I'll go and inform Mr. Yi." Click. The call was hung up. Chen Zifeng picked up the phone and called Li Changru again. Of the two masters of Jinglin Villa, Lian Changsheng and Li Changru, Chen Zifeng was more willing to contact Li Changru from the bottom of his heart. In his opinion, Lian Changsheng had a very strange personality. Chen Zifeng felt that, if he was allowed to go, he would easily lose control. It would be better to let Li Changru go. After hearing what Chen Zifeng said, Li Changru frowned slightly. He said dissatisfiedly, "Chen Zifeng, do you really think I'm just a small follower of your tiger catching guards? To catch an ordinary woman, you have to go there in person?" Li Changru's target was obvious, that was Su Chen. This matter was a task assigned to him by the owner of Jinglin Villa. As for other things, Li Changru was not interested. Chen Zifeng hurriedly explained, "Old Li, this Zhou Wanqiu is not an ordinary woman. According to the information I found, Su Chen and this woman lived in the same place before. When he was in Bincheng, Su Chen often went in and out with this woman. They told the public that Su Chen was Zhou Wanqiu's secretary, but in fact, the two of them were not ordinary." Li Changru was slightly moved. Chen Zifeng struck while the iron was hot and said, "Venerable Li, Inspector Yu asked you to go there because he was worried that the rumors were true. In that case, if we move Zhou Wanqiu, Su Chen will definitely not stand idly by." Originally, as the deputy chief of the tiger catching guards of Dongzhou province, Chen Zifeng did not need to curry favor with Jinglin Villa at all. However, in order to break through to the God Realm, he took the initiative to join Jinglin Villa and serve as a dog for others. Although he is also in the God Realm, he seems to be similar to the Eastern Venerable Li Changru. But Chen Zifeng knows that he may never catch up with Li Changru in this life. At the beginning, he had already exhausted all his potential to break through the God Realm. And without a solid foundation, it would be difficult to improve a small realm in the future. Chen Zifeng knew that he had no authority in front of Li Changru. So, he deliberately brought up Yu Xinbei. Li Changru pondered for a moment and cursed, "What a trouble. Okay, I know. I'll go there now." After hanging up the phone, Chen Zifeng breathed a sigh of relief. Let's go too." Chen Zifeng took Feng Linhei and the people of the Yinhu group and rushed towards Quinning Entertainment City. Quinning Entertainment City. Zhou Wanqiu and his group of investors, contractors and others were inspecting and recording around Quinning Entertainment City. Not far from Zhou Wanqiu, an old man was strolling around, but his eyes were cautiously looking around. This man was Zhang Longhu, the leader of the Wumeng. In addition to Zhang Longhu, there was another old man hiding in the dark, with a look of disdain on his face. It was Meng Diqiu. Two great gods protected Zhou Wanqiu alone. Meng Diqiu was in the dark, and Zhang Longhu was in the light. However, Meng Diqiu was very unhappy when he saw Zhang Longhu's figure. He felt that Su Chen looked down on him too much. Since he had a strong god to protect him, why did he need another Zhang Longhu? A mere daughter of an ordinary merchant, even if she was prettier, did not need the protection of two gods. This treatment was almost catching up with the children of the Beijing nobles. How much danger did Zhou Wanqiu have to encounter to deserve this configuration? Meng Diqiu was complaining in his heart. Suddenly, his expression moved, and he looked at the street on the side. Squeak. 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 I saw a special car for the Tiger Guard stopping in an emergency. One after another, nimble figures rushed down from the car and ran towards Zhou Wanqiu. Zhang Longhu had already noticed this situation. He took a few quick steps and approached Zhou Wanqiu and the others. Although he didn't know what happened, it was always right for him to be closer to Zhou Wanqiu. If something happened, he would have time to react. Zhang Longhu knew how much Su Chen valued Zhou Wanqiu, so he naturally didn't want to see any accidents. Click. A burst of urgent footsteps sounded. A group of tiger catching guards rushed over and directly surrounded Zhou Wanqiu and his group. Chapter 679. False Accusations. Feng Linhei led the members of the tiger group to surround Zhou Wanqiu and the others. This sudden scene surprised everyone. When they came to their senses, they were in a mess and panic. Feng Linhei looked at Zhou Wanqiu and sneered. "Mr. Zhou, hello." Zhou Wanqiu frowned slightly. They were coming for her. She looked at Feng Linhei. Who are you? What does this mean? Robbery or kidnapping? Before, when Zhou Wanqiu was in Jiu Tangsheng mansion, she encountered a man with a burning face, who broke into her house, and wanted to kidnap her. In addition, Su Chen suddenly took her to move, and even arranged a few more disciples of the Wu Meng around her. All this made Zhou Wanqiu realize that someone was targeting her. But Zhou Wanqiu didn't expect that the other party would be so rampant. Before, the other party sneaked into her house and attacked her secretly. But today, these people dared to act directly in front of so many people. Did they have no concerns at all? Seeing this scene, the people around her also spoke up to support her. What do you want to do in broad daylight? Dongzhou province is not a lawless place. That's right. Don't you see clearly who we are? Let me tell you, these are all bigwigs in the business community of Dongzhou province. Are you crazy? Security, where are the security? Someone is here to make trouble. Why don't you clear these hooligans out? Seeing this scene, several young people on the side mustered up the courage to speak. Their idea was simpler, just to gain favor in front of Zhou Wanqiu. A beautiful woman, a handsome man in a suit and gold-rimmed glasses walked out. He took the initiative to walk to Zhou Wanqiu and said proudly, "Who are you? How dare you mess around in front of me? Let me tell you, my father is Liu Zhaokang from the Dongzhou province security system. If you don't want to go to jail, apologize to President Zhao quickly and get out of my sight." The handsome man deliberately blocked in front of Zhou Wanqiu and then said to Zhou Wanqiu softly, "President Zhao, don't be afraid. Let me handle this matter." After that, he looked at Feng Linhei with a proud and arrogant face. He cursed, "Old man, I'm talking to you. Can't you hear me? Do you want to apologize yourself, or do you want me to make a phone call and ask someone to come and apologize for you?" Feng Linhei couldn't stop sneering in his heart. He knew Liu Zhaokang from the security system. He was considered one of the top deputy leaders in the security system. In the eyes of ordinary people, he was indeed very powerful. But such an identity is nothing in front of the Tiger Guards. Feng Linhei looked at the handsome man coldly and said contemptuously, "Who are you? And who is Liu Zhaokang? You fucking." The handsome man's face turned black. He took a step forward and was about to grab Feng Linhei's collar. Bang! Feng Linhei kicked out, and the handsome man flew out directly. He rolled on the ground several times before stopping. Feng Linhei said coldly, "Call your father Liu Zhaokang over. Let me see if he dares to take care of the affairs of my Tiger Guards and the affairs of Feng Linhei, the leader of the Tiger Group." As he said that, Feng Linhei glanced around. For a moment, no one dared to look at him. "What? You are the Tiger Guard?" The handsome man's face changed drastically when he heard this. His arrogance just now disappeared immediately. His body softened, and he lost all his strength. I was kidding. My father is not Liu Zhaokang. I'm just bragging. I don't know this woman either. You continue. After saying that, he staggered and fled, not daring to look at Zhou Wanqiu. It seemed that he was afraid that, if he looked at her more, he would be related to her. Even when his gold-rimmed glasses fell to the ground, he forgot to pick them up. Are you kidding? This is the Tiger Guard. Even if his father is the head of the security system, he can't afford to provoke him. The group leader of the Tiger Guard is not much worse than the head of a city. What's more, his father is just the deputy of the security system. Tiger Guard? Zhou Wanqiu frowned and looked at Feng Linhei. She was about to say something, and Zhang Lang, who had already walked over. "Sir, even if you are a member of the Tiger Guard, you can't attack ordinary merchants for no reason, right?" Zhang Lang, who said coldly. He knew Feng Linhei, and he also knew that Su Chen had made an enemy of him. Before, Su Chen had talked to him that the Tiger Guard also needed to be vigilant, and someone might be in collusion with Jinglin Villa. So, when Zhang Lang, who saw Feng Linhei rushing over aggressively, he immediately guessed what was going on. Leader Zhang. When Feng Linhei saw Zhang Lang, his face changed and looked a little ugly. He naturally knew such a big man as the leader of the Wu Meng. But he didn't expect that Zhang Lang would be here. Moreover, it seemed that he wanted to protect Zhou Wanqiu. Zhang Lang said coldly, "Don't be so polite, we are not familiar with each other." Hearing this, Feng Linhei understood Zhang Lang's position even more. How can this woman Zhou Wanqiu be related to Zhang Longhu? Feng Linhe secretly said in his heart that it was unlucky, and his mind was racing. Looking at Zhang Longhu with an indifferent face, Feng Linhe wanted to rely on Chen Zifeng and Inspector Yu to reprimand him. But Feng Linhe didn't dare to gamble. Zhang Longhu was a real strong man in the god realm, and those two guys might not make enemies with Zhang Longhu for him. Soon, Feng Linhe had an idea. He said in a deep voice, "Senior Zhang, President Zhao, I'm not here to cause trouble." Zhang Longhu sneered, "If you come to shop, then continue shopping." Feng Linhe's face changed, and he said straight to the point, "Su Chen, do you know each other?" Zhou Wanqiu immediately became nervous when she heard this. She asked, "What's wrong with Su Chen?" When Feng Linhe targeted her, she could still confront Feng Linhe with a cold eye. But when she heard Feng Linhe talking about Su Chen, she suddenly felt a little flustered and worried. HMPH. Feng Linhe sneered, "What's wrong? He's fine. You should ask what he did to others. Today, he relied on his status as a warrior to kill innocent people. He bullied the weak and committed crimes." Everyone was shocked when they heard this. If this is true, then Zhou Wanqiu, as a relevant person, should cooperate with the investigation. "What did you say?" Zhou Wanqiu heard this and immediately said, "This is impossible. With Su Chen's character, he would never attack others for no reason." Zhang Longhu also said in a deep voice, "Your Excellency, do you have any evidence to prove what you said? Mr. Su's character is obvious to all. Moreover, he is also the consultant of your Tiger Guard. You said that Mr. Su bullied the weak and committed crimes. Do you believe this yourself?" Zhang Longhu was very disdainful. These people want to frame Mr. Su, but they don't even give a logical reason. Ha. What Zhang said is that our Tiger Guard slandered Su Chen. Feng Linhe sneered. Zhang Longhu did not comment. Feng Linhe said in a deep voice, "Master Liu from Shangjing was just visiting Dongzhou province, but he was almost beaten to death by Su Chen. Also, Dong building was also devastated by Su Chen. Even innocent employees were implicated. This incident should have been reported in the news. Isn't this evidence? Such a crazy terrorist, you still dare to say he is a good person?" When Zhou Wanqiu heard this, her head was buzzing, and her face changed instantly. She did notice this news, but she didn't expect that the accident in Dong building was caused by Su Chen. And Zhang Longhu also looked serious, frowning and thinking. "The update is over. Good night everyone. It's still a little late. It's really difficult to change the time and move it forward. It's uncomfortable. At least it was done after 10 o'clock. Thank you for your support. I'll find a way to move it forward later." Chapter 680, Come and Fight. Zhang Longhu's face was gloomy. He heard from Su Chen that Jin Donglei and his son from Dong Group were from the Liu family. So it seems that the two warriors who attacked Zhou Wanqiu in the morning should also be related to the Liu family. It was precisely because of this that Su Chen was angry. But Zhang Longhu didn't expect that Su Chen would be so decisive and attack the young master of the Liu family. Revenge is not overpass. This is in line with Zhang Longhu's temper, but it is a bit tricky for the Tiger Guard to cause trouble at this time. On the opposite side, Feng Linhe saw the two of them in a daze and immediately sneered. He shouted, "Now, Su Chen has been issued a hunting order." This order was jointly signed by Deputy Guard Chief Chen Zifeng of the Tiger Guard and Inspector Yu Zhenbei of the Dragon Guard. This time, Su Chen will not escape. Feng Linhe's face looked like a villain who had succeeded. Zhang Longhu's face changed slightly. He said in a deep voice, "Whether there is any inside story in this matter, neither you nor I know. Whether Mr. Su is guilty or not, let's not talk about it for now. But this matter has absolutely nothing to do with President Zhao. What reason do you have to come and arrest President Zhao?" Now, Zhang Longhu has not contacted Su Chen yet. Therefore, he does not know whether Su Chen has other arrangements. But the task given to him by Su Chen is to protect Zhou Wanqiu. No matter how the Qinhui wants to deal with Su Chen, what he, Zhang Longhu, has to do is to protect Zhou Wanqiu and prevent her from being taken away by the Qinhui. Feng Linhe sneered and said, "According to our Qinhui investigation, Su Chen is an employee of Zhao's catering group. Moreover, he seems to be President Zhao's secretary. As a subordinate of President Zhou, who knows if he has anything to do with President Zhou when he commits such a thing, it is reasonable for us to invite President Zhou to assist in the investigation, right? Zhou Wanqiu frowned slightly. What a joke. She said coldly, I'm just an ordinary person. How could I be related to this matter? Besides, I have been inspecting and visiting Qinying Entertainment City, and everyone present can prove it for me. You put on the posture of arresting criminals right from the start, and you also said you would assist in the investigation. Don't you feel guilty? What exactly do you want me to assist you in investigating? Are you really assisting in the investigation, or are you using me to threaten Su Chen? Zhou Wanqiu showed a mocking look on her face. She had already seen clearly that this group of people clearly wanted to use her to target Su Chen. If she really went with these people, Su Chen would be afraid to act rashly and be restrained. Now that the people of the Tiger Guards are acting openly, Zhou Wanqiu will directly make the matter clear and deal with it according to the rules. Zhang Lang, who looked at Zhou Wanqiu with appreciation. This woman is really not simple. Perhaps she can't help Su Chen in any way, but she is very smart and tries not to drag Su Chen down. Zhang Lang, who stood up immediately. He stood in front of Zhou Wanqiu and said in a deep voice, if you want to ask questions, ask them here in front of everyone. If you want to use your power for personal gain and force President Zhou to leave, you have to get past me first. Zhang Lang, who finished speaking, and his whole body was full of energy, as if he was ready to fight at any time. The momentum of the powerful gods was so strong that the people of the Yinhu group, led by Feng Linhei, were oppressed and retreated. Feng Linhei's face was ugly. He stabilized his body and said angrily, Zhang Lang, who, are you crazy? Are you going to go against our Yinhu guard for Su Chen? Zhang Lang, who sneered disdainfully, you Feng Linhei are just a group leader. I'm afraid you can't represent the entire Yinhu guard. You. Feng Linhei's face was ugly. At this moment, a cold shout came from a distance. Feng Linhei can't represent Yinhu guard. What about me? As soon as the voice fell, Chen Zifeng's figure suddenly appeared. Zhang Lang, whose pupils shrank, and his face sank slightly. As the leader of the martial alliance, he naturally recognized Chen Zifeng, the deputy chief of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province. Deputy Chief Chen. Feng Linhei was surprised and bowed to greet him. Now, he also had a backer and confidence. Chen Zifeng nodded slightly, then turned to look at Zhang Lang, who. Zhang Lang, who, you are a master of the divine realm. What's the point of bullying ordinary warriors? If you really want to fight, I can accompany you. Chen Zifeng's face was full of arrogance. In fact, he was a little nervous. With his strength in the early stage of the divine realm, he could hardly fight Su Chen, not to mention Zhang Lang, who had completely recovered from his injuries. He said this because he was sure that Zhang Lang would not dare to attack him. After all, he was the deputy chief of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province and represented the face of the Tiger Guard. It was nothing for Zhang Lang to attack Feng Linhei, but if he really dared to fight him, it would be a big deal. However, Chen Zifeng underestimated Zhang Lang's hot temper. Are you afraid? Zhang Lang burst out with energy when he heard this. He pulled his stance and said angrily, damn it. Why are you pretending to be so arrogant? I know the chief guard of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province. How could I be afraid of a deputy like you? Li Changfeng, the chief guard of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province, has some friendship with Zhang Lang. In fact, when Zhang Lang first established the martial alliance, Li Changfeng secretly gave him some help. It's just that Li Changfeng's identity here, some things are not easy to make public. You. Zhang Lang's words directly choked Chen Zifeng. His face instantly darkened, and he asked word by word, Zhang Lang, are you sure you want to go against me? Zhang Lang glared, humph. Who do you think you are? What if I go against you? Come and fight. If you don't agree with me here today, no one can take President Zhou away. In Zhang Lang's eyes, using the despicable means of Chen Zifeng and others to save Zhou Wanqiu is to save Su Chen's weakness. Chen Zifeng gritted his teeth in anger, but he didn't dare to fight Zhang Lang. First of all, he knew that he couldn't beat Zhang Lang, and if he was defeated, he would lose face. Secondly, if he fought with Zhang Lang, things would probably get out of hand, and he would be involved. It's okay to fight, but someone else must take the lead. When Chen Zifen was struggling, Yu Zhenbei finally arrived. Zhang Longhu, you are so arrogant. I want to take Zhou Wanqiu away, can't I? With a cold snort, Yu Zhenbei's figure crossed the sky and landed with a bang. As soon as he entered the field, he was full of momentum, and the pressure of the middle stage of the divine realm was revealed. Zhang Longhu looked at Yu Zhenbei with vigilance. Yu Zhenbei smiled coldly. Zhang Longhu, the leader of the Dongzhou province Wu League, right? The voice fell. Boom. Yu Zhenbei stood still, but his whole body of energy pressed towards Zhang Longhu. Zhang Longhu's face changed, but he was not afraid at all. He took a step forward, mobilizing all his strength to resist Yu Zhenbei's attack. The two men stood still, competing with each other with their vitality and aura, testing each other. Zhang Longhu continued to increase his vitality output. However, facing Yu Zhenbei's attack, he was able to resist at first, and even pushed back. But as Yu Zhenbei continued to exert pressure, Zhang Longhu began to struggle, and was soon suppressed. Zhang Longhu was solemn. He had already guessed the identity of the man in front of him. Presumably, this person was the Dragon Slayer inspector who came to Beijing. Yu Zhenbei. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 681. Godly realms appear frequently. Yu Zhenbei was also extremely shocked. This Dongzhou province is really a place where crouching tigers and hidden dragons are hidden. Not only is there a peerless genius like Su Chen, but there is also a master like Zhang Longhu. He thought that Zhang Longhu's cultivation in the god realm was just like Chen Zifen's silver-plated spearhead. Unexpectedly, Zhang Longhu's vitality was so strong that it was not much worse than his. Now, although he can suppress Zhang Longhu, no matter how he tries, he can't completely defeat him. Yu Zhenbei didn't know that Zhang Longhu was originally in the middle stage of the god realm. It was just because of his injuries that he fell to the early stage of the god realm. After Su Chen healed his injuries, Zhang Longhu's cultivation recovered quickly. Moreover, due to being injured for many years, Zhang Longhu's control of vitality is more down to earth. Perhaps in terms of the length of vitality, Zhang Longhu can't compare with Yu Zhenbei. But in terms of the short-term burst of vitality, Yu Zhenbei is slightly inferior to Zhang Longhu. Although the two did not fight, the struggle of vitality between each other has already made them have a clear understanding of each other's strength. If a war breaks out, and it can be ended in a short time, then Zhang Longhu may win. But if it takes too long, Zhang Longhu will definitely lose. Whoosh! The two men gathered their energy at the same time, and stared at each other. Yu Zhenbei said coldly, Inspector of the Dragon Slaying Guard in Shangjing, Yu Zhenbei. Zhang Longhu, I advise you not to meddle in other people's business and bring disaster upon yourself. Today, I must take this woman away, and you can't stop me. Zhou Wanqiu was the person Liu Shaohang specifically asked for. Since he agreed, he would definitely do it. However, Zhang Longhu sneered, haha, the inspector of Shangjing is just like that. I also tell you, with me here, even you can't think of taking President Zhou away. Come and fight, if you don't agree. Zhang Longhu has a hot temper. Seeing that Yu Zhenbei and Chen Zifen were in cahoots, he naturally didn't need to save face for Yu Zhenbei. Arrogant. Chen Zifen immediately shouted. Zhang Longhu, you don't think you can save Zhou Wanqiu by yourself, do you? Although you are a martial god, you are not the only one in the divine realm here. Do you think you can be a match for me and Inspector Yu? Chen Zifen looked proud. If he were alone, he would definitely not be a match for Zhang Longhu. But now that Yu Zhenbei is here, if the two of them work together, can they not take down Zhang Longhu? Haha. Just the divine realm, is it strange? Zhang Longhu sneered. As he spoke, he shouted to the distance, Old man, why don't you come out? If you don't come out, Mr. Zhou will be taken away. Meng Diqiu was hiding in the dark, feeling a little conflicted. He knew that Zhang Longhu was calling him, but he was a little hesitant. At the beginning, Su Chen treated his injuries, and he also promised to help Su Chen protect Zhou Wanqiu. But if he offended other powerful gods, because of this promise, is it worth it? Meng Diqiu kept thinking in his mind. Chen Zifeng, the deputy chief of the Tiger Guard, is not to be feared. But there is also an inspector of the Dragon Slaying Guard who went to Beijing, Yu Zhenbei. The strength and background of these two people should not be underestimated. Meng Deqiu was very hesitant. Is it worth offending Yu Zhenbei for Su Chen? At this time, a loud shout was heard again. Meng Deqiu, where have you been hiding? Zhang Long, who called out Meng Deqiu's name directly. He was forcing Meng Deqiu to make a choice. Sure enough, hearing this, Meng Deqiu could no longer hide and could only step out. He had already made a decision in his heart. Su Chen has extraordinary potential and will become a great man in time. As for this Shangjing Inspector Yu Zhenbei, his roots are not in Dongzhou province at all, so it doesn't matter if he offends me. At most, I won't go to Shangjing before my cultivation breaks through. In the future, if Su Chen quickly reaches the peak of martial arts, I will follow Su Chen to flatten Shangjing, and Yu Zhenbei won't even dare to fart. Thinking of this, Meng Deqiu went straight to Zhang Longhu. That attitude was very obvious. Zhang Longhu showed satisfaction on his face. He looked at Yu Zhenbei, his eyes burning with fighting spirit. Now it's 2 against 2. It's hard to say who will win or lose. Yu Zhenbei and Chen Zifeng looked grim. In this way, they had no confidence of winning at all. Just when the two were in trouble, another voice sounded from outside. Just a woman, but she actually alarmed so many masters of the god realm. In that case, let me join in the fun. Hearing this voice, Chen Zifeng was overjoyed. The Eastern Venerable of Jinglin Villa, Yi Changru, is here. Whoosh! A sound of breaking through the air sounded. Yi Changru's figure appeared in front of everyone. The terrifying momentum pressed towards the surroundings, and everyone's breathing suddenly stagnated. Another god realm. The faces of everyone present kept changing. People with discerning eyes have already seen that this is not assisting in the investigation. It's pure bullshit. Can so many god realm bosses be mobilized to assist in the investigation? She, Zhou Wanqiu, is a witch. Has she violated the heavenly rules? Yi Changru stood beside Yu Zhenbei and smiled coldly. The outcome of 2-2 is undecided, so what about 3-2? Zhang Longhu looked solemn. When Meng Deqiu saw Yi Changru, his pupils shrank. Dong Zunzun? Meng Deqiu's face twitched, and he was very angry. How could Su Chen still provoke Jinglin Villa? Before, he clearly reminded Su Chen to reconcile with Jinglin Villa. As a result, not only did he not reconcile, but he also invited Dong Zunzun of Jinglin Villa. This old guy is very powerful. What to do now? Meng Deqiu became more and more entangled. Yi Changru was also very surprised to hear that Meng Deqiu recognized him. He turned to look at Meng Deqiu, a little confused. He himself hadn't made a move for many years. Unexpectedly, someone recognized him. Meng Deqiu saw Yi Changru looking at him, and his expression was embarrassed and nervous. His body was tense and his limbs were stiff. Where was the sharpness of a master in the realm of gods? Oh, you recognize me? Yi Changru looked at Meng Deqiu. Meng Deqiu was very humble. He clasped his fists and said, I have naturally heard of the reputation of Master Dong of Jinglin Villa. It's a pity that, although I admire him in my heart, I have never had the chance to meet him. Hearing this, Zhang Longhu frowned. They haven't even started a fight yet. This Meng Deqiu is flattering the other side first, which is too embarrassing. On the side, Zhou Wanqiu also looked at Meng Deqiu deeply, and a trace of worry emerged in his heart. Yi Changru looked at Meng Deqiu and said jokingly, since you know me, how about we fight each other later? After that, Yi Changru looked at Yu Zhenbei and Chen Zifeng again. He raised his chin slightly and asked with a bit of contempt, Yu Zhenbei, Chen Zifeng, you two should have no problem dealing with him alone, right? Yu Zhenbei sneered. He was about to speak. At this time, Meng Deqiu rolled his eyes and said first, there is a problem. For a moment, everyone's eyes were all on Meng Deqiu. Chapter 682, turning side at the last minute. Zhang Longhu frowned and looked at Meng Deqiu. He felt that this old guy seemed a little strange today, and he didn't know what he was going to do. What's your problem? Yi Changru looked at Meng Deqiu. He sneered and said, if you think that our 3-on-2 is unfair, how about I fight you two alone? Hiss. Hearing this, everyone couldn't help but take a breath. This Yi Changru is too arrogant. In a battle between gods of the same level, how dare he say that he can fight 1 against 2? Zhang Longhu glared and clenched his fists, arrogant. However, at this time, Meng Diqiu hurriedly explained, "No, Master Dang, you misunderstood. What I mean is that the things here have nothing to do with me. I will not participate in the fight between you. So, it's not 3 against 2, but 3 against 1. Meng Diqiu said, turned around and jumped to the other side, keeping a distance from Zhang Longhu and Zhou Wanqiu. Everyone around was stunned by this reversal. Ha ha ha. Yi Changru, Yu Zhenbei and others burst into laughter. Meng Diqiu quitting his job made them feel very comfortable. Zhang Longhu and Zhou Wanqiu were a little dumbfounded. Although they had already felt that Meng Diqiu seemed to be making trouble, they never expected that he would be so shameless. Meng Diqiu, what the hell do you mean? Zhang Longhu roared angrily, have you forgotten what Mr. Su told you? Mr. Su saved your life, but now you turn against him. Zhang Longhu has always been heroic, loyal and abiding by the rules. What he despises most is this kind of traitor who betrays his faith and escapes from the battlefield. Meng Diqiu crossed his arms and said indifferently, yes, Su Chen saved me once, and I promised to protect this woman for him. But I have protected her for a while. Before I saved her life, I have repaid Su Chen's kindness. As for risking my life for him, I think my relationship with him has not reached that point. Meng Diqiu said confidently. Haha. Zhang Longhu sneered, what a favor to repay. This is the biggest joke I have ever heard. He showed sarcasm. If it weren't for Mr. Su, you would have died. What do you have to say here today? You are a shameless villain who is treacherous and ungrateful. Before, Su Chen reminded Zhang Longhu that Meng Diqiu might not be reliable. If he faced Jinglin Villa, he would probably rebel. At that time, Zhang Longhu thought that Meng Diqiu was also a powerful person in the god realm and had some integrity. Now it seems that Su Chen is really good at judging people. Meng Diqiu was scolded by Zhang Longhu and was also annoyed. He said sinisterly, Alliance Master Zhang, I advise you to save some energy and make fewer enemies. If you feel that 1-on-3 is not enough and want 1-on-4, I can satisfy you. Meng Diqiu sneered. He felt that he had given Su Chen face by not turning against Zhang Longhu. You are so shameless. Zhang Longhu said coldly. After that, he turned his head to look at Yu Zhenbei and others and said, you 3 come together. I, Zhang Longhu, will take it alone. But let's go out and fight. Don't mess up this place. Zhang Longhu said, and walked out. Yu Zhenbei gave Chen Zifeng a look, indicating that he should stay and fight Zhou Wanqiu. Zhang Longhu's strength is very strong. Yu Zhenbei felt that it would be difficult to take him down quickly if Yi Changru relied on him alone. He planned to join forces with Yi Changru to take down Zhang Longhu first. The 3 walked outside and just walked to the square in front of Quinning Entertainment City. Zhang Longhu suddenly shouted, formation start. Yes. The members of the Wumeng jumped out immediately. They manipulated the array plates to surround Yu Zhenbei and Yi Changru. The array plates in their hands were given to Zhang Longhu by Su Chen. Although there was a powerful god-level warrior, Zhang Longhu, in the Wu League, there were still too few high-end combat forces. Therefore, Su Chen specially selected the 5-element array plates that could cooperate with each other from Liu Beicheng's array plates. He improved the array plates and gave them to Zhang Longhu, asking him to arrange for the innate level warriors in the Wu League to practice and combine the arrays. At this moment, the Wu League used the 5-element array plates. They could fight on their own and help each other. When they matched each other, the power was doubled. At this moment, the 5-element array plates occupied 5 directions, and the 5 directions were united. The pure 5-element power swept towards Yu Zhenbei and Yi Changru. Asshole, you are playing dirty tricks. Yu Zhenbei and Yi Changru shouted. They were caught off guard and quickly mobilized their vitality to resist the invasion of the 5-element power. Although the 2 had divine power, they were held back by the Martial Arts Alliance's key master using the array disc, and they were so angry. Haha. You 2 fools. Do you think I'm as stupid as you? Zhang Longhu laughed. Although he had a bad temper, he was not stupid, and he was not arrogant enough to think that he was invincible. 1 against 2, 1 against 3, isn't that courting death? Therefore, He had already asked the Martial Arts Alliance disciples to arrange means outside. Zhang Long, who also knew that this array disc was nothing to the two divine powerhouses. Maybe it won't take long for them to break free. But he didn't care. What Zhang Long who wanted now was to delay time and wait for Su Chen to come. Since the Tiger Guards came just now, Zhang Long who sent a message to Su Chen, and it was estimated that Su Chen should be here soon. And the fact is indeed as he expected. At this moment, Su Chen was running at full speed, rushing towards Kuniying Entertainment City. On the road, while he was running, he dialed a number. At this time, even if Su Chen didn't want to, he had to trouble the provincial governor Fang Dingbang. He still lacks time. If he is given another half a year, he will surely be able to break through to the God realm. By then, he will not be afraid of Yu Xinbei or Yi Changru. Soon, Kuniying Entertainment City is in sight. Su Chen saw at a glance the people fighting in the square outside. Zhang Longhu and several Yuan-Qi masters of the Wu League used arrays of different attributes to condense the power of the five element, to trap and suppress Yu Xinbei and Yi Changru. However, the limit of these arrays is only the Xiantian realm after all. Even if they cooperate with each other, they can only barely deal with the God realm. However, they have to deal with two God realm. Moreover, they are two mid-stage God realm masters. Yu Xinbei looked at the Wu League people who were close to their limits and shouted, "Still want to stop me? Get out of here." He and Yi Changru exerted their strength together. Boom. The power of the five element collapsed. The Yuan-Qi masters of the Wu League vomited blood and were shocked to retreat again and again. Yu Xinbei showed a grim smile on his face. "Ant-like things dare to attack me. I'll let you know the price." As soon as the voice fell, Yu Xinbei rushed towards the Yuan-Qi masters of the Wu Meng. Zhang Long, whose face changed drastically. "Arsehole." He was about to step forward to stop him, but Yi Changru sneered and stopped him. "League Master Zhang, your opponent is me." Seeing Zhang Longhu being stopped, Yu Xinbei showed a cruel smile on his face. He wanted to kill all these trash who dared to attack him. "Die." Yu Xinbei shouted loudly, and the terrifying energy suddenly burst out, and it seemed that he was about to start a massacre. The members of the Wu Meng were immediately panicked. The strong man in the divine realm was definitely not something they could resist. At this moment, a tall figure suddenly appeared. A fist with a force of 10,000 kilograms hit Yu Xinbei fiercely. Bang! Yu Xinbei's energy collapsed, and the whole person suddenly retreated. Squeak! A deep mark was drawn on the ground. Yu Xinbei steadied himself and looked at the person who came. He squeezed out two words from between his teeth. "Su Chen. The update is over. Sorry, it's late. I'll try to get it earlier. Everyone go to bed early. Sorry. Chapter 683 Hellfire Realm. The person who came was Su Chen. Su Chen stood proudly on the spot, his body straight as a gun. Zhang Long, who saw Su Chen coming, and his face showed joy. With Su Chen here, he felt much more at ease. He had learned that Su Chen had broken through the divine realm with his physical body and became a martial arts god. Even if he faced ordinary Yuan-Qi martial gods and spiritual immortals, he would not suffer. Moreover, Su Chen has always had a variety of means and amazing combat power. If he joined forces with him, even if it was 2 against 3, Zhang Longhu felt that he could still fight. Su Chen glanced at Yu Xinbei coldly. He said with disdain, "You are the inspector of the Dragon Slayer Guard, but you have to attack an innocent woman in order to deal with me. Su Chen, you are really shameless." Yu Xinbei saw Su Chen, and his eyes were full of murderous intent. Su Chen. His eyes almost spit fire. It was because of this young man in front of him that Liu Shaohan was seriously injured. However, Yu Xinbei did not act rashly. Because the seriously injured Huang Sanson had proved that Su Chen was at least a strong man of the same level as him. The punch that Su Chen used to knock him back just now was proof of this. Su Chen sneered. He slowly said, "It's me. I'm here. What do you think?" Yu Xinbei was furious and shouted, "Su Chen, you bully the weak and hurt innocent people, and you still dare to be so rampant here? Now, I will represent the Dragon Slayer guards to arrest you and bring you to justice." Although he was furious, Yu Xinbei still did not forget to stand on the moral high ground and put on the hat of justice for himself. After saying that, Yu Xinbei did not give Su Chen a chance to speak at all and rushed towards him with his vitality. Seeing this, Zhang Long, who also subconsciously moved and rushed towards Yuzin to block the heavy blow for Su Chen. Your opponent is me. Seeing that Zhang Long, who was about to rush over, Yi Chang grew scolded, and then flew forward to intercept Zhang Long, who, in an instant, the four people fought against each other in pairs. Bang, bang, boom. The terrifying vitality collided, and the energy was radiating. The people around retreated again and again. In this kind of battle between powerful gods, even a powerful innate realm can be seriously injured if he approaches. Su Chen frowned slightly. Yuzin Bei in front of him is not easy to deal with. Previously, the battle with Huang Sanson exhausted Su Chen. Although he recovered some of his vitality after half a day of recuperation, it was not in his prime after all. What's more, Su Chen himself is one major realm lower than Yuzin Bei. I can't compete with vitality. Even with the 9 extreme power amplification, I can only stalemate with him. If it takes a long time, I will definitely not be able to outlast this old guy. Su Chen and Yuzin Bei were fighting, and he kept calculating in his mind. He already understood that it would be difficult for him to defeat Yuzin Bei if he fought normally. Yuzin Bei also realized that Su Chen's condition was not very good. He shouted coldly, "Boy, die." As soon as the voice fell, Yuzin Bei flashed, mobilized all his vitality, and punched fiercely. The violent fire attribute vitality, attached to the fist, was like a cannonball, hitting Su Chen in the face. Even before he got close, he gave people a burning pain and depression. The divine energy locked Su Chen tightly, leaving him nowhere to hide. It was obvious that Yuzin Bei wanted to kill him in one fell swoop. However, this kind of aura locking might work against ordinary innate masters. But it was hard to work against Su Chen. Golden light. Su Chen felt the impact of Yuzin Bei's terrifying vitality, and a golden light flashed under his feet. At the critical moment, he used the golden light to move to the side. Boom. In an instant, the earth shook and dust flew. A large pit burning with blazing flames exploded in the square in front of Quinning Entertainment City. The people around screamed and ran. Yuzin Bei turned around and looked at Su Chen with surprise. "You can actually dodge it?" Su Chen sneered and deliberately provoked Yuzin Bei. "A mid-staged god realm, is this all you can do? Compared to Huang Sanson, you don't seem to be much stronger. If I hadn't wasted my energy on abolishing Huang Sanson, you might not be able to stand and talk to me." Su Chen is not an arrogant person, but he needs to stimulate Yuzin Bei to make him make a mistake. A person in a rage will have a greater chance of making a wrong choice. Yuzin Bei is too strong, and he won't get any advantage by simply fighting Su Chen. Therefore, Su Chen can only find other opportunities. Sure enough, Yuzin Bei's face looked ugly. He shouted angrily, "Su Chen, you are too arrogant. I'll see how many times you can escape. Today, I will kill you." Yuzin Bei's voice fell, and he rushed towards Su Chen again. He was full of anger, and the vitality around him burst into violent flames, sweeping towards Su Chen quickly with the momentum of sparks and fire. It was obvious that Yuzin Bei wanted to surround Su Chen and restrict his movements. Su Chen saw the move and broke it apart. He relied on the lightness and agility of his wandering steps to keep moving in the flames of vitality. If he couldn't avoid it, he would use the invincible golden body of the Vajraarhat realm to resist. If Yuzin Bei was ruthless, he would use the golden light of the earth. As one of the 36 Xiangang magical powers, the speed of the golden light of the earth is extremely fast, almost like the Tao. Even Yuzin Bei was helpless when facing the extreme speed of the golden light of the earth. Su Chen wandered around looking for opportunities, while verbally provoking Yuzin Bei. Yuzin Bei's face was ugly, not to mention the Grand Master of the Yuan Qi. Even if he fought with a strong man in the God realm, Yuzin Bei had never been so frustrated. "Su Chen, you force me to do this." Yuzin Bei was angry. He wanted to kill Su Chen at all costs, to wash away his shame. Yuzin Bei paused his attack and slowly gathered the vitality of his body. Su Chen also looked serious. He understood that Yuzin Bei was going to be ruthless. Yuzin Bei narrowed his eyes and said in a cold voice, "Originally, if you had followed me honestly, I could have let you live for a while. But since you insist on seeking death, then I will grant you your wish." The next second, the scorching and terrifying fire attribute energy suddenly poured out from Yuzin Bei's hands. Like two fire dragons, they roared and rushed towards Su Chen. Su Chen's face was serious, and his feet stepped on the gang step. While he was displaying the invincible golden body, he stretched the physical defense of the Vajrasahat realm to the maximum. While using his body skills, he kept moving around and dodging. However, haha, Yuzin Base sneered, and suddenly hit his hands together. Boom. The two fire dragons did not rush towards Su Chen at all, but directly collided with each other in the air. Boom. The moment the energy fire dragon exploded, it was as if thousands of meteors fell, covering half of the square. Hellfire Realm. Yuzin Bei roared. In an instant, the area around Su Chen seemed to have turned into a world of fire. The flames filled with destructive power were overwhelming, and swept towards Su Chen from all directions. Yuzin Bei showed a sneer of success on his face. He was very confident in his trick. No one could escape his Hellfire Realm. The strong men in the God Realm couldn't do it, and Su Chen couldn't do it even more. His fire attribute vitality was different from the fire element vitality of ordinary people. Yuzin Bei's fire attribute vitality was filled with fire poison. Even if Su Chen could escape with his physical body in the Vajrasahat realm, he would definitely be burned. Chapter 684. Just fire poison. Yuzin Bei looked very proud. As long as Su Chen's divine body was burned, it would be like a small cut. At that time, the fire poison would enter his body and burn his muscles, bones, and internal organs. Finally, the difficult fire poison would attack his heart and brain, causing Su Chen to die in extreme pain. Su Chen, I want to see how you die. Ha ha ha. Yuzin Bei looked at the figure that kept wandering and fleeing in the firelight, and felt a crazy sense of pleasure. Mr. Su. On the other side, Zhang Longhu and Li Changru were also fighting anxiously. He noticed that Su Chen was in a bad situation and shouted subconsciously. However, when masters fight, how can they be distracted? Fighting with me, you dare to be distracted? Li Changru sneered, and then slapped Zhang Longhu's chest. Zhang Longhu was experienced in fighting, and he quickly pulled his mind back, and swung a palm to meet the attack. Bang! The two palms collided. In an instant, it was as if sparks collided with explosives, making a deafening sound of vitality explosion. Everyone felt that the ground was shaking. Crash. Even the glass on one side of Quinning Entertainment City was shattered. If the Tiger Guards had not sealed off the area around Quinning Entertainment City before taking action, so that ordinary people could not get close, I'm afraid that this wave of battle would kill at least dozens of ordinary people. After the attack, the recoil force temporarily separated Zhang Longhu and Li Changru. Mr. Su. Zhang Longhu didn't care about his own situation. He looked at Su Chen in the fire, and was about to rush over. Li Changru naturally refused, and immediately stepped forward to intercept him again. Zhang Longhu, you should stay, and watch how that kid is tortured to death by the fire poison. Li Changru stopped Zhang Longhu, and showed a cruel smile. You bastard. Zhang Longhu's face was ugly. At this moment, a proud voice sounded from the sea of fire. Master Zhang, don't worry about me. It's just a fire poison, nothing more than that. Hearing this voice, Li Changru was stunned for a moment, and looked at the fire scene in astonishment. Then, a golden shadow, like a god descending to earth, walked out of the sea of fire step by step. That relaxed look, like he was just strolling around. It was Su Chen. At this moment, Li Changru didn't care about fighting with Zhang Longhu. He looked at Su Chen with disbelief. With Li Changru's knowledge and cultivation, he could naturally feel the power of Yuzin Bei's Hellfire Realm. Not to mention that Su Chen was only in the Xianshan realm. Even if Li Changru went in, it would be very troublesome. Not to mention, he had to walk out so calmly, which might cost him some price. For the first time, Li Changru really valued Su Chen. Before, he thought it was very shameful for him, a strong man in the middle stage of the God realm, to come out to deal with the Yuan Qi Grandmaster. But now, after seeing Su Chen's tyranny with his own eyes, he finally understood. No wonder the owner of the manor was so afraid of him, and asked himself and Lian Changsheng to come over. Su Chen, this kid, is indeed a monster. Yuzin Bei also had a stunned look on his face. With bloodshot eyes, he watched Su Chen stroll out of the range of his self-proclaimed ultimate move. Yuzin Bei saw clearly that Su Chen had no scars on his body, not to mention the fire poison. This is impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Yuzin forehead was bulging with blue veins. He was full of disbelief and shouted, "Even if you are the physical body of Vajrahat, you can't stop my hellfire world. You must have used other means, right? Do you have magic weapon on you?" Yuzin was absolutely confident in his secret skills. In his mind, Su Chen couldn't come out by his own strength. He had fought with strong men in the realm of heaven and man in martial arts. Not to mention the realm of heaven and man in the physical body alone. But even the strong men in the realm of both physical body and mental power could not escape the blockade of his hellfire world. Not to mention, walking out unscathed. The last powerful god realm warrior who was attacked by him using the hellfire realm had long been killed by the fire poison, and now the grass on his grave is 2 feet high. Su Chen smiled coldly and said disdainfully, "Haha, why do we need to make a big fuss to deal with an attack of this level? Inspector Yu, are you a dog for the Liu family, so confident that you think you are very strong? What hellfire realm? In the past, you didn't sell skewers, did you? Did you get the inspiration to practice such a technique in front of the barbecue?" Su Chen mocked again, deliberately angering Yuzin. He wanted to disturb Yuzin mind. At the same time, Su Chen was also estimating in his heart how long Yuzin could maintain his combat power. Such an attack is powerful, but the consumption of vitality should also be extremely terrifying. Su Chen was able to survive this time purely because the effects of the undefeated golden body in the heavenly realm physical body were pulled to the extreme. Moreover, he recovered a lot of vitality and mental strength in the Cheng family. What's more, Su Chen himself has cultivated the flame energy, and his resistance to fire energy is much stronger than that of ordinary warriors. In addition, the constant repair of the longevity energy. Under the superposition of various factors, Su Chen is like a god descending from heaven. However, even so, Su Chen also consumed a lot of energy. After all, it is the ultimate trick of the god realm strongman. How could it be ineffective? If Yuzin comes again, Su Chen may not be so relaxed. But Su Chen must show absolute confidence and luck, like he is not afraid of Yuzin trick at all. Only in this way can Yuzin doubt himself and dare not use the hellfire realm easily. Yuzin was ridiculed in the face, and his face instantly turned pale. "You are looking for death." Su Chen's words fell heavily on his face like a slap. Originally, he dealt with Su Chen to avenge Liu Shaohang. But now, he must kill Su Chen. Otherwise, if today's incident spreads, it will become a stain on him. Yuzin boy, don't be so arrogant. I want to see how many of my moves you can withstand. Yuzin roared and rushed towards Su Chen again. Array up. Yuzin took out 2 array discs and activated them instantly. One of the 2 array discs was the divine movement array disc, which was used on himself. The other was the thick earth trapping array disc, which restricted Su Chen's movement. Yuzin was extremely fast against Su Chen, so he deliberately used it to force Su Chen to dodge. Boom. Boom. 2 different rays of light instantly spread across the battlefield. Yuzin speed suddenly increased. Su Chen was enveloped by the khaki light, and his whole body suddenly sank, greatly restricting his movements. Yuzin eyes lit up and he laughed. "Su Chen, die." Then, he gathered all his energy and attacked with a bang. Su Chen had no way to avoid it. His eyes narrowed slightly, and he gritted his teeth to activate the undefeated golden body. In an instant, the whole person was shining with golden light, as if the god of war was alive. In Su Chen's body, the longevity energy also surged rapidly, protecting his internal organs. He was ready at any time to repair his injuries, as soon as possible. After making good defense, Su Chen looked at Yuzin who was attacking him. "Yuzin, you think too highly of yourself." Su Chen gritted his teeth fiercely. The next second, he mobilized the physical strength of the heaven realm to collide with Yuzin. Boom. The violent energy and the diamond body suddenly collided. Chapter 685. Despicable. The violent energy and the diamond body suddenly collided. Boom. It was like a sledgehammer hitting a huge bronze bell. Buzz. The power of the collision emitted a circle of sound waves, vibrating and spreading in the air. Crash. The glass in Quinnying Entertainment City was not spared this time, and was blown apart one after another. In an instant, Su Chen's eyes suddenly went dark, and he took a deep breath to slowly return to normal. He felt that his internal organs were almost shattered. Fortunately, the longevity energy in his body was already prepared. At this moment, the longevity energy was surging wildly, like a battlefield medic, quickly giving emergency treatment to the severely injured body and internal organs. Su Chen's throat felt sweet, and a liquid kept surging up. However, he forced it down. Even if he was pretending, Su Chen had to pretend to be evenly matched. However, Su Chen was not feeling well, and Yu Bei was also extremely uncomfortable. Just now, he was doing his best. Su Chen was seriously injured, and it was difficult for him to feel well. At this moment, Yu Bei's arms kept shaking. His hands couldn't even hold a fist. Su Chen's physical strength was too terrifying. The force of the recoil caused Yu Bei's arm bones to suffer a certain degree of damage. "You're okay." Yu Bei looked at Su Chen, whose expression remained unchanged, and couldn't believe his eyes. If his full strength attack hit a god level person like Chen Zifeng would be seriously injured and dying. But Su Chen was like nothing happened. This almost drove Yu Bei crazy. The Hellfire Realm plus the fire poison were ineffective against Su Chen. A simple Yuan Qi crushing attack still couldn't hurt Su Chen at all. How could he fight? Su Chen, this bastard, was just a Yuan Qi master. For a while, Yu Bei had great doubts about his own strength. He almost couldn't help but wonder if he hadn't taken action for too long and his Yuan Qi had expired. Su Chen had been paying attention to the changes in Yu Bei's expression. When he saw Yu Bei's self-doubt, he sneered and said, "Inspector Yu, it seems that your strength in the middle stage of the divine realm is very watered. If it doesn't work, go back to Shangjing and hide to practice for a few more years. Don't come out to embarrass yourself." Yu Bei's face was extremely ugly. At this moment, an extremely annoying voice sounded from the side. "Su Chen, don't be so arrogant. Look, who is in my hands." Su Chen turned his head and looked. His face suddenly became gloomy. I saw Chen Zifeng controlling Zhou Wanqiu and slowly walked forward. Yu Bei's face suddenly brightened. And Chen Zifeng, with a smug smile on his face, looked at Su Chen. Before, he thought that, if Yu Bei took action, Su Chen would definitely die. Unexpectedly, Su Chen's strength was so strong. Even Yu Bei, who was in the middle stage of the divine realm, couldn't do anything to him. Seeing that the situation was deadlocked, Chen Zifeng didn't care about the face of the divine realm strongman at all, and directly held Zhou Wanqiu hostage. Although Chen Zifeng didn't know what kind of close relationship Su Chen and Zhou Wanqiu had, but he found out that Zhou Wanqiu had a lot of troubles, which were all solved by Su Chen. He guessed that using Zhou Wanqiu to threaten Su Chen might be effective. "Su Chen, why don't you surrender?" Chen Zifeng looked at Su Chen, his eyes full of fear. He knew in his heart that he was definitely no longer Su Chen's opponent, and Yu Bei couldn't take him down. But if he let Su Chen go, Chen Zifeng would naturally be unwilling. He had already made a complete enemy of Su Chen. With Su Chen's talent and potential, if he didn't die, he would be unable to sleep or eat. Su Chen's face was gloomy. He looked at Chen Zifeng with murderous eyes. "Chen Zifeng, you shameless villain. You are a powerful person in the god realm and the deputy chief of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province, but you attack ordinary people. Do you still have the rules of the Tiger Guard in your eyes?" Chen Zifeng smiled coldly. "Haha. Now, I'm the rules of the Tiger Guard. Su Chen, why don't you confess your crime and surrender quickly?" Su Chen was furious. In his heart, Chen Zifeng was on the must-kill list. Originally, the hatred between Su Chen and him was not so serious. But he should never touch Su Chen's bottom line. Su Chen would never spare such a shameless and bottom line-less enemy in the god realm who attacked Zhou Wanqiu, an ordinary person. After seeing Su Chen, Zhou Wanqiu immediately shouted, "Su Chen, leave me alone. I'm the president of Zhao's catering group. They can't do anything to me." Zhou Wanqiu reminded Su Chen that Chen Zifeng represented the Tiger Guard. She was not a warrior, and she had not broken the law, so Chen Zifeng did not dare to really attack her. Zhou Wanqiu was not worried about her own safety, but she was afraid that Su Chen would be in danger because of her. At this moment, Zhou Wanqiu only hated herself for dragging Su Chen down. "Shut up!" Chen Zifeng shouted angrily, and he raised his hand suddenly. "Pa!" He slapped Zhou Wanqiu in the face. "Bitch! Don't say such nonsense. If Su Chen doesn't die today, you will die for him. Chen Zifeng's eyes were red. He was a little out of control because of his fear of Su Chen. Only when he saw Su Chen die completely, he could feel relieved. Zhou Wanqiu's face quickly became red and swollen. A trace of blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. Su Chen was instantly furious. He promised Zhou Wanqiu to take care of Zhou Wanqiu, but he saw Zhou Wanqiu being treated like this. Su Chen gritted his teeth and shouted, "Chen Zifeng, you are looking for death." As soon as the voice fell, Su Chen was about to rush forward. Chen Zifeng's face changed, and his face was full of vigilance. He pinched Zhou Wanqiu's neck with his big hand, exerted a little force, and his vitality was ready to go. In an instant, Zhou Wanqiu's face was flushed and full of pain. Chen Zifeng roared, "Come on. Let's see, is it faster for you to kill me, or for me to kill her?" Chen Zifeng had a sinister smile on his face. As long as Su Chen dared to move, he would attack Zhou Wanqiu. If he can't beat you, Su Chen, can't he deal with an ordinary woman? You. Su Chen's eyes were like knives, and he wanted to tear Chen Zifeng to pieces directly. However, he stopped. Seeing this, Chen Zifeng became more excited. He laughed and said, "Ha ha ha. You two are very considerate of each other. It seems that my guess is right. You two do have a hidden relationship." Although Zhou Wanqiu was coerced by Chen Zifeng, she was still a little embarrassed. Su Chen's eyes were cold, and he kept thinking in his heart. Seeing this, Chen Zifeng looked proud. He joked, "Su Chen, I want you to kneel down immediately." Su Chen looked at Chen Zifeng coldly and remained silent. Seeing Su Chen staring at him, Chen Zifeng immediately roared, "Su Chen, now, I want you to kneel down. Didn't you hear me? I'll count to 3 seconds. If you don't kneel, I'll strip Zhou Wanqiu naked. Let everyone appreciate President Zhao's good figure." As he spoke, Chen Zifeng stretched out his other hand and grabbed Zhou Wanqiu's clothes. It seemed that he would tear them apart in the next second. Su Chen's face darkened. The update is over. Good night, everyone. I will try to adjust the time. There are too many things to do at home during the day. Everyone should go to bed early. Chapter 686, Conspiracy and Open Action. Su Chen was furious. He never thought that Chen Zifeng, the deputy chief of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province, would be so mean. However, Chen Zifeng was like a madman at this time. He was really afraid of Su Chen. Chen Zifeng even felt that, if he let Su Chen escape this time, he might not have a chance to deal with him again in the future. The winner is the king. As long as he could seize this opportunity to kill Su Chen, he didn't care about his face and the rules of the Tiger Guard. "You dare!" Su Chen shouted angrily. He clenched his fists, and murderous intent boiled between his brows. "Chen Zifeng, if you dare to touch her hair, I want you to pay with your life." Su Chen forced himself to calm down and look for an opportunity. Ha ha ha. Seeing Su Chen's anxious look, Chen Zifeng laughed triumphantly. Then, he said with a grim look, "You want to kill me? How funny. Do you still have that chance? Now, you have offended me. Jinglin Villa, Inspector Yu of the Dragon Slayer Guard, and the Liu family of Shangjing. You still want to live? Dream on. And Zhou Wanqiu is in my hands. I want you to die, and you have no other choice. Kneel down." Chen Zifeng shouted again. Su Chen's eyes were like spitting fire, staring at Chen Zifeng. Seeing that Su Chen did not move, Chen Zifeng turned his head to look at Zhou Wanqiu and said jokingly, "Mr. Zhao, it seems that your vision is not very good. Su Chen, this pretty boy, doesn't care about your face at all. In this case, then I can only ask everyone to appreciate Mr. Zhao's graceful body." Chen Zifeng sneered. Then, he looked at Su Chen provocatively and directly encouraged his vitality and was about to tear Zhou Wanqiu's clothes into pieces. "Stop!" Su Chen shouted. He stared at Chen Zifeng and said in a deep voice, "Don't touch her. Isn't it just for me to kneel down? I promise you." Su Chen said in a deep voice. Then, he approached Chen Zifeng step by step, pretending to kneel down to him. Su Chen. Zhou Wanqiu felt very painful when she saw Su Chen coming over. At this moment, she only hated herself for being too weak. Not only could she not help Su Chen, but she also became a bargaining chip for the enemy to threaten Su Chen. Seeing Su Chen slowly approaching, Chen Zifeng suddenly felt afraid. "Stop!" Chen Zifeng took Zhou Wanqiu back 2 steps, and then he felt relieved. He said fiercely, "Su Chen, don't try to play tricks with me. If you dare to get close again, I will take action immediately." Although Chen Zifeng's vitality cultivation has reached the divine realm, which is a whole realm higher than Su Chen, this cannot give him any sense of security. The sense of oppression brought to him by Su Chen is even greater than that of Yu Xinbei. "Now, you stay where you are and kneel down." Chen Zifeng held Zhou Wanqiu hostage and spoke coldly. At the same time, Chen Zifeng winked at Yu Xinbei. Yu Xinbei, who was watching the show nearby, received Chen Zifeng's signal and understood instantly. Originally, he was very happy to see Su Chen being humiliated. But seeing Chen Zifeng's reminder, Yu Xinbei also knew that he had to get rid of Su Chen in advance to avoid more trouble. Yu Xinbei looked up and looked at Su Chen's back in front of him, with a cold light flashing in his eyes. "Go to hell." Yu Xinbei's figure flashed, and he punched Su Chen's back with all his strength. "Su Chen, be careful." Zhou Wanqiu saw Yu Xinbei blasting towards Su Chen like a burning cannonball, and she subconsciously shouted. Su Chen also noticed the energy behind him. "Shameless!" he shouted in a low voice, and golden light flashed under his feet. In the blink of an eye, Su Chen barely avoided it by relying on the golden light. "Who?" Su Chen took a deep breath. He had almost no vitality left. Originally, he had almost exhausted all his strength in the battle with Huang Sansan in the morning. If he had not used the Feng Shui formation to gather energy in the Cheng family villa, which allowed him to recover quickly, his condition would have been even worse. It was the Cheng family villa that added longevity to Su Chen, which allowed him to fight Yu Xinbei again after seriously injuring Huang Sansan. But now, he was also close to exhaustion. Yu Xinbei saw Su Chen dodge, and a trace of pity flashed in his eyes. And Chen Zifeng was even more furious. "Su Chen, stop. If you move again, I will kill this woman." Chen Zifeng pinched Zhou Wanqiu's neck, and began to slowly exert force. In an instant, Zhou Wanqiu's face turned red, and he had difficulty breathing. Su Chen paused and looked at Zhou Wanqiu. Even with a painful look on his face, Zhou Wanqiu still shook his head at Su Chen. This scene made Su Chen's eyes burst, and the killing intent in his heart reached its peak in an instant. At this time, Yu Xinbei saw an opportunity. He took advantage of Su Chen's daze, and rushed towards him again. The terrifying vitality, like the accumulation of energy before a volcano eruption, was condensed like crazy, ready to pour out towards Su Chen at any time. Chen Zifeng held Zhou Wanqiu hostage, threatening Su Chen, forcing him not to dodge. Yu Xinbei's face showed a grim smile. This time, Su Chen is dead. Huge tears rolled down Zhou Wanqiu's eyes. At this moment, suddenly, a very majestic female voice sounded from the sky. "Now, is this how the Tiger Guards do things?" The voice was not loud, but it was full of unquestionable power, resounding in everyone's ears. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice. I saw a green light and shadow rushing from a distance. In the blink of an eye, the figure landed on the square. Yu Xinbei paused and subconsciously slowed down his movements. But the next second, he gritted his teeth and blasted Su Chen with the accumulated violent vitality. He had made up his mind that no matter who tried to stop him, he would kill Su Chen. Bang! With a loud bang, the people around were forced back by the shockwave. Then, they looked curiously at the center of the battlefield, wanting to see how Su Chen turned out. However, the dust cleared. Only the green figure was seen standing in front of Su Chen. Su Chen was safe and sound. Yu Xinbei's vitality attack was blocked by this person before it touched Su Chen. In this attack, the two were evenly matched. After the figures separated, everyone could see clearly. The master who appeared in front of them was actually a middle-aged beautiful woman. She had a noble temperament and a majestic look. Zhang Zhenqiu. Yu Xinbei saw the face of the person clearly and called out the other person's name in surprise. He came to Dongzhou province to do something, so he naturally investigated the situation in Dongzhou province in advance. Zhang Zhenqiu was a master of the divine realm and the wife of Fang Dingbang, the governor of Dongzhou province. He naturally knew the other party. Therefore, even if he had never seen Zhang Zhenqiu, he still recognized her at a glance. Su Chen was relieved when he saw Zhang Zhenqiu appear. After knowing that Yu Xinbei and others were going to use an open plot against him, Su Chen thought of a way to crack it. His way to deal with it was Fangding Bang. Since the other party wanted to use force to suppress others, Su Chen had to equalize the right to speak for both parties. As long as everyone had equal power, and then put this matter on the table to argue the truth, Su Chen was not afraid at all. After all, it was the other party who started it first. If it's an open plot, then do it openly. Yu Zhenbei's face suddenly became ugly when he saw Zhang Jinqiu. He already understood Su Chen's plan. Chapter 687 I want to kill someone. It's me. Zhang Jinqiu stared at Yu Zhenbei. She said calmly, if I'm not mistaken, you should be Inspector Yu Zhenbei of the Dragon Slayer Guard who came from Shangjing, right? Without waiting for Yu Zhenbei to respond, Zhang Jinqiu mocked again. A mid-level divine realm attacked a master of the innate realm, and even launched a sneak attack. The martial arts world in Shangjing really follows the rules. Yu Zhenbei's face was gloomy. Then, Zhang Jinqiu looked at Chen Zifeng again. When she saw Chen Zifeng pinching Zhou Wanqiu's neck and making Zhou Wanqiu's face red, her face instantly turned cold. Zhang Jinqiu shouted coldly, Chen Zifeng, what do you want to do? Since when did the Tiger Slayer Guard have the rule of killing innocent people indiscriminately? Or do you want to rebel against the Tiger Slayer Guard and stand completely with Jinglin Villa? Don't let go of President Zhao. Do you really want to be a gangster? As the wife of the provincial governor Fangding Bang, Zhang Jinqiu knew everything. It's just that there are some things that they are not convenient to come forward. Chen Zifeng's face changed and hesitant. He was a member of the Tiger Capture Guard of Dongzhou province. Although he was not under the direct jurisdiction of Fangding Bang, he could not be easily offended. He looked at Yu Zhenbei for help. Seeing this, Yu Zhenbei quickly said, Zhang Jinqiu, what do you mean by this? Is it the intention of the governor of Dongzhou province that you come forward to protect Su Chen? As the inspector of the Dragon Slaying Guard of Shangjing, Yu Zhenbei and Fangding Bang were not under the same jurisdiction. In addition, he had the support of the Liu family of Shangjing. With the Liu family's foundation in Shangjing, Fangding Bang had to think twice before offending him. Therefore, Yu Zhenbei was not afraid of Fangding Bang. It was just that he did not want to have a grudge with Fangding Bang. But if the conflict of interest was too great, he might not give Fangding Bang face. Yu Zhenbei put on an impartial and selfless look and shouted coldly, Su Chen is guilty of heinous crimes. He bullies the weak and seriously injures innocent people. Today, I will bring him to justice on behalf of the Dragon Slayer Guards. What's wrong with that? If we let Su Chen run away today, I don't know how many people he will harm in the future. Yu Zhenbei's eyes flashed with ferocity. It seemed that he was not prepared to give face to Zhang Jinqiu and Fangding Bang. As he spoke, Yu Zhenbei gave Chen Zifeng a look to hint that he should not let him go. Chen Zifeng nodded quietly. Originally, Su Chen was difficult to deal with, and now, he has someone to back him up. If Zhou Wanqiu was let go, it would be even more difficult to control Su Chen. Zhang Jinqiu's eyes were cold, staring at Chen Zifeng and said, Chen Zifeng, let go of the irrelevant people. Chen Zifeng's face changed several times. He gritted his teeth and said, Inspector Yu is right. Su Chen committed crimes, and he has a close relationship with Zhou Wanqiu. They often go out together. It's hard to guarantee that they are not in the same group. I arrested Zhou Wanqiu only for the sake of mission considerations. At this moment, Chen Zifeng showed his face of confusing right and wrong and black and white to the fullest. The power is in the hands of Chen Zifeng and Yu Zhenbei. They are judging as soon as they open their mouths. As for the evidence, it's all in their mouths. Zhang Jinqiu's face sank. Ha 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 ha. Su Chen suddenly laughed. Everyone looked at him. Su Chen's eyes were like knives, staring at Chen Zifeng. Today, I finally saw what it means to find a pretext to accuse someone of a crime. In this case, as an advisor to the Tiger Guard, I, Su Chen, will also exercise my rights. Su Chen concentrated his energy and spirit while speaking. The essence of flesh and blood, the surging vitality, and the spiritual power were all adjusted to the best state. Hearing this, Chen Zifeng subconsciously asked, your rights? What rights do you have left? Now, you are just a wanted criminal. Su Chen's face suddenly changed, and he shouted, my right is to kill the traitors and termites in the Tiger Guards. Spear of Spirit. As soon as the words fell, Su Chen directly emptied all the spiritual power in the Yin God and Yang God and condensed it into an invisible spear of spirit in the Niwen Palace. Then, the spear of spirit pierced Chen Zifeng at lightning speed. Be careful. Yu Xinbei and Yi Changru both changed color and reminded hurriedly. However, it was still too late. Although Chen Zifeng was a land immortal, he entered the divine realm with his vital energy, and his mental strength was not stronger than Su Chen. Just now, Su Chen was worried that Yu Xinbei and Yi Changru would intervene, so he had been patient and did not reveal this trick. But at this moment, with Zhang Langhu blocking Yi Changru and Zhang Jinqiu calming Yu Xinbei, Su Chen had no worries. The spear of spirit attacked with lightning. Chen Zifeng was unable to react and was hit. Bang! Chen Zifeng felt a pain in his head, as if he was hit by a brick. His eyes were cloudy, his brain was dizzy, and his mind was in a trance for a moment. Although Su Chen's mental power was strong, it was only the great success of Yin Shen and the initial success of Yang Shen, and it had not yet been transformed into the spiritual god of the immortal master. After Chen Zifeng stepped into the land immortal, his mental power was also strengthened, not too weak. Therefore, Su Chen's full strength attack only made Chen Zifeng dazed for less than 1/3 of a second. But this time was enough for Su Chen. At the same time as the spell was cast, Su Chen once again cast the golden light of the earth. A golden light passed by. His figure had appeared in front of Chen Zifeng. Su Chen's body was shining with golden light, as if the bronze man was resurrected. He made a lightning move and directly pinched Chen Zifeng's wrist that was holding Zhou Wanqiu's neck. He exerted force. Snap! A crisp bone-breaking sound suddenly rang out. At the same time, Su Chen took Zhou Wanqiu into his arms and once again cast the golden light of the earth to flash aside. From Su Chen launching the spear of spirit to rescuing Zhou Wanqiu and leaving, the whole process was completed in an instant. Bang! With a loud explosion, Chen Zifeng's wrist bones were shattered, leaving only flesh and skin. However, the vitality he had accumulated in his wrist to threaten Zhou Wanqiu had not yet dissipated. At this time, without the meridians to run and control the vitality exploded directly at his wrist. Ah! Chen Zifeng looked down at the bloody broken wrist, and then he reacted and screamed. This scene happened too quickly. Even though all the people present were powerful gods, they did not react. Yu Xinbei's attention was still on Zhang Jinqiu, and Yi Changru was also confronting Zhang Langhu. When they came to their senses and wanted to stop it, it was too late. Su Chen, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Chen Zifeng roared madly with a face full of resentment. Without his right hand, his strength was reduced by more than half. His future and life are likely to collapse as a result. Chen Zifeng looked crazy, and he gave orders to Feng Linhei. I'm the deputy chief of the Qinhu Guard. Su Chen is a traitor. If he attacks me, Feng Linhei, quickly catch this bastard for me. Kill him for me. Feng Linhei and the people of the Yinhu group were stunned. Everyone looked at each other, and no one dared to move. Even the strong men in the god realm could not take down Su Chen. If they go up, wouldn't that be pure death? Su Chen glanced at the crazy Chen Zifeng. He brought Zhou Wanqiu to Zhang Jinqiu, and Su Chen wanted to kill people. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 688 Killing Chen Zifeng. Stay with Senior Zhang. Su Chen said to Zhou Wanqiu. With Zhang Jinqiu here, even if Yu Xinbei wanted to attack Zhou Wanqiu, he would not dare to act rashly. Zhou Wanqiu looked a little dazed. She seemed to have not yet recovered from the emotion of being rescued. She looked at Su Chen with some uneasiness. At this moment, it seemed that only by being close to Su Chen could she feel safe. Don't be afraid. Su Chen put Zhou Wanqiu down. He comforted her softly. With Senior Zhang here, you are safe. And I will make those who bully you pay the price. As soon as the voice fell, Su Chen used the earth flying gold again. In an instant, a golden light rushed towards Chen Zifeng who was still wailing in pain. Be careful. This time, Yu Xinbei's attention was on Su Chen. Seeing Su Chen take action, he immediately warned him. At the same time, Yu Xinbei subconsciously wanted to intercept Su Chen. Inspector Yu, do you want to attack me? As soon as Yuzinbei moved, Zhang Jinqiu immediately made an interception gesture, as if Yuzinbei was going to attack her. Seeing this, Yuzinbei had no choice but to stop. He was furious, but he had to consider Fangding Bang, so that he could not get angry. Yuzinbei suppressed his anger, and asked with gritted teeth, Zhang Jinqiu, do you really want to go against the Liu family and the Dragon's Lair guards? Does Fangding Bang and your family know what you did today? He couldn't tell whether this was Zhang Jinqiu's own idea, or on behalf of Fangding Bang. If it was Zhang Jinqiu's own idea, he didn't have to worry about it at all. But if it was Fangding Bang, there would be too many factors to consider. Zhang Jinqiu frowned and said coldly, Inspector Yu, stop being so pretentious here. You are just an inspector. Can you represent the Dragon's Lair Guard? Also, today you disregarded the rules and used force in broad daylight in a public place and caused such great damage. You should think clearly about how to explain to the Dongzhou province. As for your grudge with Su Chen, I don't care. But Chen Zifeng kidnapped innocent businessmen. I will report it truthfully as a witness. These words were flawless. Not only did they make it impossible to hold Fangding Bang's handle, but they also firmly hinted that they wanted to protect Su Chen. Yuzinbei was so angry. This woman said she didn't care. But he was stopped as soon as he moved. Is this called not caring? The moment Yuzinbei and Zhang Jinqiu were entangled, Su Chen had already rushed to Chen Zifeng. Punch after punch. Su Chen bombarded Chen Zifeng with endless anger. Chen Zifeng had just been injured in the Niwen Palace, and then Su Chen broke his hand. At this time, facing Su Chen's attack, he could only resist awkwardly. Although Su Chen had little strength left, his physical strength in the Heavenly Man realm was not weaker than Chen Zifeng, who relied on external forces to improve to the Divine Realm. Bang, bang, bang. Chen Zifeng, whose right hand was broken and whose combat power was greatly reduced, was hit several times in an instant. Puff. Chen Zifeng vomited blood and retreated. Without Yuzinbei and Yi Changru's help, even if Su Chen had only some strength left, he would be enough to defeat him. Chen Zifeng's eyes were filled with fear, and he turned around to escape. Su Chen was murderous. Chen Zifeng, die. Su Chen shouted. Divine Wolfist. In an instant, Su Chen's whole body strength merged into one. Yuan Qi, mental strength, and physical strength were all mixed together and fused into Su Chen's fist. In an instant, the sky and the earth changed color. Everything in front of Chen Zifeng disappeared, leaving only Su Chen's punch. He felt as if there was a mountain in front of him, falling towards him. He felt the power of heaven and earth with this punch. Not to mention resistance, he didn't even have the heart to dodge. He was as small as dust, and couldn't compete with it at all. Before Su Chen's physical body broke through the Vajrahat realm, Chen Zifeng had been unable to do anything to Su Chen. Now, Su Chen has refined his body to the Heavenly Man realm, but his right hand was disabled, so he was naturally no match for Su Chen. Chen Zifeng's face was dull, and the fear in his eyes didn't even have time to bloom. He saw Su Chen's murderous eyes in the surging fist. Boom. A punch hit Chen Zifeng's body, the whole piece exploded, and his soul was annihilated at the same time. Since then, Chen Zifeng has become the only deputy guard chief of the Divine Realm who was killed by the innate realm among the tiger capture guards of Dongzhou province. The Divine Wolfist emphasizes the meaning, rather than the form, and is aimed at the mental power, so that the enemy cannot have the intention of resisting, and is willing to die. After Su Chen's body was upgraded to the Vajrahat realm, he thought about whether he could merge it. Now, his vitality and mental strength are almost exhausted, so he can only act hastily without any experiments. Now it seems that the Divine Wolfist is indeed extraordinary and completely kills Chen Zifeng. Su Chen stood firm and breathed a sigh of relief. Against the backdrop of Chen Zifeng's body, his figure was like a killing god. However, in fact, after this move, his combat power was almost gone. If someone attacks him again, he can only rely on his body in the Vajrahat realm to resist. At this moment, everyone around was stunned. Su Chen, you dare to kill the deputy guard chief of the Tiger Guard? Yuzinbei saw this scene, his eyes full of disbelief. After thinking about it, a joy surged in his heart. This time, Su Chen is really doomed. If the grudge between Su Chen and Liu Xiaohan before, if you look into it, they are indeed not right. But now, Su Chen's direct killing of the deputy chief of the Qinhu Guard is Su Chen's iron crime. Even if Chen Zifeng is guilty of a heinous crime, as long as he is still the deputy chief of the Qinhu Guard, he represents the face of the Qinhu Guard. In this way, even if it is Li Changfeng, the chief of the Qinhu Guard of Dongzhou province, he can't protect Su Chen. Haha. Su Chen, you killed the deputy chief of the Qinhu Guard, you will definitely die. Yu Zhenbei was overjoyed and laughed wildly. Originally, Yu Zhenbei saw Zhang Jinqiu supporting Su Chen and thought that today's plan might fail. But unexpectedly, Su Chen was so impatient that he actually killed Chen Zifeng directly in front of everyone. It's worth it to exchange the life of Su Chen, a genius, with a waste god realm like Chen Zifeng. At this time, Su Chen said coldly, "What deputy chief of the Tiger Guard?" He paused, then said calmly, "I don't know what deputy chief of the Tiger Guard. I only know that I killed a brutal murderer who attacked ordinary people. As an advisor to the Tiger Guard, I naturally have the responsibility to stop bad warriors from committing crimes." Su Chen returned their previous words. Ridiculous. Yu Zhenbei sneered in anger. He shouted angrily, "Su Chen, do you think you can get away with it by pretending to be stupid? How can you quibble in front of everyone? Zhang Jinqiu, are you still going to stop me from arresting him now?" Yu Zhenbei looked at Zhang Jinqiu coldly, with a smug look in his eyes. At this time, if she still wants to protect Su Chen, it will inevitably implicate Fang Dingbang. Yu Zhenbei doesn't believe that Su Chen has such a big face. Everyone looked at Zhang Jinqiu. Update ends. Good night everyone. Try to be early and work hard. It's really too busy during the new year. Sorry, everyone. Go to bed early. Chapter 689. Words of Sword. Yu Zhenbei's eyes were like a venomous snake, staring at Zhang Jinqiu. He didn't believe that she dared to stop him when Su Chen killed Chen Zifeng in public. At this time, Zhang Jinqiu smiled coldly and said, "Inspector Yu, you seem to have made a mistake. When did I stop you? Who you want to arrest is your business. However, in Dongzhou province, you, Inspector Yu, don't seem to have this right. Yu Zhenbei is responsible for patrolling the Tiger Guards. In the final analysis, he only has the duties of inspecting, recording, and reporting. Perhaps, Yu Zhenbei can use this responsibility to issue some simple orders to the Tiger Guards. But if he gets serious, he can't arrest anyone here at all." Zhang Jinqiu smiled coldly. "What? Inspector Yu, do you want to bypass Dongzhou province and directly interfere in the affairs of our Dongzhou province?" Zhang Jinqiu came to protect Su Chen today, so she would naturally not give up easily. Seeing Zhang Jinqiu turning the tables, Yu Zhenbei laughed in anger. "Don't beat around the bush in front of people." Yu Zhenbei showed a mocking look on his face. "Zhang Jinqiu, I really want to know, what is your relationship with Su Chen? How could you disregard the face of the Tiger Guard for him?" As he spoke, Yu Zhenbei's eyes kept looking back and forth between Zhang Jinqiu and Su Chen. Then, he pretended to be enlightened. "Haha. Su Chen killed Chen Zifeng for this woman, and you, Zhang Jinqiu, became enemies with the Dragon Slayer Guard for Su Chen. I didn't expect that you, Zhang Jinqiu, at your age, would still play this game. I wonder if our provincial governor Fang Dingbang knows that there is a fire in his backyard?" Hearing this, Zhang Jinqiu's face turned pale. Yu Zhenbei, this bastard, was so despicable that he made up a romantic news about her and Su Chen in public and spread rumors to slander his reputation. Although, in the eyes of discerning people, this kind of person must be fake news. But it will definitely affect Fang Dingbang. This bastard wants to force himself to give up Su Chen. You're looking for death. Zhang Jinqiu was furious. As soon as he finished speaking, he stepped on his foot. Bang! The next second, he was like an arrow shot from a bow, rushing towards Yu Zhenbei. The terrifying aura locked onto Yu Zhenbei. But Yu Zhenbei was prepared, and he mobilized all his energy to attack him. Boom! The two of them separated. As soon as they touched, rumble, the earth shook, and the gravel flew. On the ground, spider web-like cracks suddenly exploded. Thump, thump, thump. Yu Zhenbei took several steps back, his face extremely ugly. He didn't expect that Zhang Jinqiu would actually take action directly. Bei shouted angrily. Zhang Jinqiu, how dare you attack me? Zhang Jinqiu said coldly, since you have a stinky mouth and can't speak, then I will help you shut up. You. Bei sneered. Zhang Jinqiu, the more angry you are, the more it shows that you and Su Chen are not clear. Haha. It's not shameful for an old cow to eat young grass. Zhang Jinqiu's eyes were filled with murderous intent. Bei, do you dare to say this again? Bei was not afraid at all. Why? Am I wrong? You are so protective of Su Chen. Isn't it because you two have a private affair? Zhang Jinqiu was very angry. She was about to pounce on him. Suddenly, a deep and majestic voice sounded. Bei, according to what you said, I should be the one who has a private affair with Su Chen. Everyone was shocked when they heard this voice. This voice often appears on the news channel of Dongzhou province. Everyone turned their heads. Sure enough, a majestic old man slowly stepped over. It was Fang Bingbang. Fang Bingbang walked like a dragon and a tiger. His face was as calm as a lake. No one could tell whether he was happy or angry. Bei's face froze, and he felt a little nervous. Just now, although he had spoken rudely and even humiliated Zhang Jinqiu, but in fact, facing Fang Bingbang, he still felt a little guilty. After all, this was a local giant, a real big shot. Even the big families in Shangjing might not be willing to offend such a person. Fang Bingbang looked at Bei coldly. Bei felt a little empty in his heart, but he still forced himself to look up and look at Fang Bingbang. Fang Bingbang said coldly, Bei, in Dongzhou province, whether Su Chen is guilty or not, it is not your turn, Bei, to judge, right? He didn't want to show up, and it was too ugly to quarrel with Bei. But these guys in front of him were too shameless, lawless, acting recklessly. Fang Bingbang looked at Su Chen and gave him a reassuring look. Bei's face froze, and he asked, Provincial Governor Fang, what do you mean by this? Fang Bingbang said in a deep voice, what do I mean? Haha. I would like to ask Inspector Yu, what do you mean by throwing dirty water on my wife's head? Bei's eyes were solemn. He had seen that Fang Bingbang also wanted to help Su Chen, but Bei couldn't figure it out. Is Su Chen Fang Bingbang's illegitimate son, or what? So that Fang Bingbang, the governor of the province, could come forward in person, even at the cost of offending himself and the Shangjing Liu family behind him. Bei said, Provincial Governor Fang, you may have misunderstood me. Now, I'm arresting Su Chen who committed violence. But your wife suddenly appeared and protected this beast and the people involved in this case. I think your wife's violation of discipline should not be arranged by you. So, I said the wrong thing, because of my random guess. Please forgive me. Bei is also an old man in the arena. These words sounded like an apology, but they were not an apology. After saying these words, he directly occupied the banner of justice. Fang Bingbang had been in the political world for decades, so he naturally understood. He did not take up the topic and change the subject directly. Before, I received news that a high-level warrior was causing chaos and openly broke into Kuniying Entertainment City, an important project in the provincial capital, and kidnapped Mr. Zhao's catering group. Zhao's catering group is a model enterprise in my Dongzhou province. Kuniying Entertainment City is also a key commercial project in Dongzhou province. The Kuniying Entertainment City project in which Mr. Zhao participated is related to the revitalization of the Dongzhou province economy. Such an important person was kidnapped by illegal warriors. Isn't it right for me to ask my wife to come and save him? These words were even more watertight. Su Chen did destroy the people of the Liu family in Shangjing and had already made enemies with the Liu family. Fang Bingbang could save Su Chen, but he would make cautious decisions and would not easily stand on the side and be directly hostile to the Liu family. Therefore, he pushed all the excuses to Zhou Wanqiu. As for how important Zhou Wanqiu's project is, it is still up to him, the provincial head, to decide. Hearing this, Bei was very angry. He said angrily, Provincial Chief Fang, we are all 1,000-year-old foxes. No one can play Liaoze. Is your wife saving Zhou Wanqiu? She is obviously saving Su Chen. No matter how you quibble, it's useless. The son of the Liu family in Shangjing came to Dongzhou province for fun, and was abolished by Su Chen. Chen Zifeng, deputy chief of the Dongzhou province Tiger Guard, was killed by Su Chen. These things are all conclusive evidence. Just tell me, do you want to arrest Su Chen today? Chapter 690, another trump card. Yuzin Bei stared at Fang Bingbang with red eyes. Fang Bingbang chuckled. If Su Chen is really guilty, then he should be arrested. Yuzin Bei was about to take action, as soon as he finished speaking. Wait. Fang Bingbang raised his hand to stop Yuzin Bei. He continued, what I said is that if he is guilty, he should be arrested. But it is still unknown whether Su Chen is guilty or not. In Dongzhou province, there is no precedent of direct conviction without investigation. How about this? According to the rules, record this matter first, and wait until the Tiger Guard investigates the cause clearly, before making a final decision. Fang Bingbang could not directly exonerate Su Chen. The key point lies in the attitude of the Tiger Guard. He can only temporarily keep Su Chen free, and prevent him from falling into the hands of Yuzin Bei and others. Then, let Su Chen find a way to save himself. Yuzin Bei was immediately furious. Record first. If we don't catch Su Chen, what if he runs away? This bastard has the combat power of a god. If he runs away, where can I catch him? Su Chen's growth rate is really terrible. Yuzin Bei really doesn't dare to let him leave. Fang Bingbang acted embarrassed. You must catch him, but it's not in accordance with the rules. If I don't let you catch him, you are worried. In this case, then I will guarantee Su Chen. If he runs away, you can find me, Fang Bingbang. Okay. Hearing this, Su Chen was quite moved. It was not easy for Fang Bingbang and Zhou Wanqiu to do this for him. Find you? Do you think I'm a fool? Yuzin Bei shouted loudly. If Su Chen really runs away, what's the point of me looking for you? Can I ask you to pay for his life? Besides, what right do you have to guarantee him? Given the relationship between you two, you are probably not qualified to guarantee him. Fang Bingbang saw Yuzin Bei biting Su Chen tightly, and he was a little angry. At this moment, a deep and gentle voice sounded. Since you don't trust Fang Shengshao, how about adding me? The next moment, Cheng Xianfeng's elegant figure walked out slowly. Although Cheng Xianfeng looked very slow, like a gentleman strolling. But in fact, his speed was not slow at all, and he arrived at Su Chen's side in the blink of an eye. Cheng Xianfeng smiled gently. I, Cheng Xianfeng, will guarantee Su Chen. Inspector Yu, do you think this is feasible? If it's not enough, then add the Cheng family in Shangjing. Is it enough? Yuzin Bei turned his head, and was about to scold the person who came. However, when he saw Cheng Xianfeng's face, his angry face froze on his face, as if it was frozen in an instant. Cheng, second master. Yuzin Bei's eyes almost popped out. He was horrified. The person in front of him was actually Cheng Xianfeng. Just now, he thought someone was pretending to be a member of the Cheng family to help Su Chen. But when he turned around and saw Cheng Xianfeng, Yuzin Bei's heart was immediately in a mess. How could this bastard Su Chen know Cheng Xianfeng? This master is a well-known big shot in Shangjing. Not to mention Yuzin Bei. Even Fang Bingbang and Zhou Wanqiu were surprised. They thought they might be Su Chen's biggest connection. As a result, Su Chen actually had a friendship with the Cheng family in Shangjing, and it seemed that they had a close relationship. Otherwise, how could Cheng Xianfeng, the second son of the head of the Cheng family and the biological father of the Cheng family's designated young patriarch, come to help him in person? Second Master Cheng, why are you here? Yuzin Bei's head was confused. He still had a glimmer of luck in his heart. Su Chen was just a small consultant of the Tiger Guards. It was impossible for him to be so lucky to be favored by the Cheng family in Shangjing. It is even more impossible to get Mr. Cheng to come out and guarantee it personally. However, Cheng Xianfeng said coldly, if I don't come, won't you take away my guest of honor? After saying this, Yuzin Bei's face became even uglier. Cheng Xianfeng didn't say that Su Chen was a junior, nor did he say that Su Chen was a good friend, but directly said that Su Chen was someone that Cheng Xianfeng wanted to be friends with. This was a signal to Yuzin Bei to let him understand one thing. Su Chen, Cheng Xianfeng has guaranteed it. Guest of honor? Yuzin Bei turned his head to look at Su Chen, pointed at Su Chen, and asked in disbelief, him, Mr. Are you kidding me? Cheng Xianfeng looked at Yu Zhenbei with a disdainful look. Kidding you? Who are you, and do you deserve me to joke with you? Cheng Xianfeng had already given Yu Zhenbei a face. But this guy didn't give a way out, so he had no choice. Being scolded by Cheng Xianfeng, Yu Zhenbei's face suddenly turned green and red. He was so aggrieved in his heart, but he didn't dare to get angry with Cheng Xianfeng. Not to mention that he was just the inspector of the Dragon Slaying Guard. Even if he was the commander-in-chief of the Dragon Slaying Guard, he would not be able to stand up to Cheng Xianfeng. Although the Cheng family was not among the nobles of Shangjing, it was one of the most mysterious families in Shangjing. It seemed that they had no power, but the upper-class families and forces in Shangjing knew that the Cheng family was unfathomable. Yu Zhenbei was anxious and kept thinking about countermeasures. He bowed and said, "Second Master, I'm Yu Zhenbei, the inspector of the Dragon Slaying Guard in Shangjing. Today, the reason why I want to arrest Su Chen is because he abolished Liu Shaohang of the Shangjing Liu family for no reason." Yu Zhenbei still did not give up. He was smart and guessed that it might be Fang Dingbang who contacted Cheng Xianfeng. After all, with Su Chen's identity, it didn't seem like he was qualified to have a relationship with the Cheng family. If Cheng Xianfeng gave Fang Dingbang face, it would be much more reasonable. Therefore, Yu Zhenbei wanted to move out of the Shangjing Liu family, implying that Cheng Xianfeng didn't need to get involved in this muddy water. However, Cheng Xianfeng's reaction made Yu Zhenbei desperate. He interrupted Yu Zhenbei directly and said with a cold face, "I know Mr. Su's character. I, Cheng Xianfeng, think that he is not a person who stirs up trouble for no reason. As for the Shangjing Liu family, if I remember correctly, it should also be a martial arts family, right? And Liu Shaohang is also a warrior. Then the fight between them should not involve your Tiger Capture Guard and Dragon Slaying Guard." Cheng Xianfeng's tone was already cold when he said the last sentence. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that Cheng Xianfeng was already very impatient. Now, Cheng Yuhang's life was in danger at any time, and he was still waiting for Su Chen to save his life. At this time, whoever targeted Su Chen was targeting him, Cheng Xianfeng, and the Cheng family, not to mention Yu Zhenbei. Even if the head of the Liu family came and dared to harm Su Chen, Cheng Xianfeng would have to fight with him. Looking at Cheng Xianfeng's cold eyes, Yu Zhenbei lowered his head quickly. His face was ugly, and the rest of the words were blocked at his mouth, and he couldn't say them. Cheng Xianfeng looked at him coldly. "Inspector Yu, I want to invite Mr. Su to visit my villa now. Is it feasible?" Although this was a question, it was full of unquestionable. Faced with this kind of oppression from the superior, Yu Zhenbei was helpless. Chapter 691, Blocking the Escape. Yu Zhenbei felt aggrieved. He could not give face to Fang Dingbang, but he dared not offend Cheng Xianfeng. Because Yu Zhenbei had the support of the Shangjing Liu family, and although Fang Dingbang was in a high position, he was only one person after all. But Cheng Xianfeng was different. Even the Shangjing Liu family would not easily offend the Cheng family. Yu Zhenbei did not dare to anger Cheng Xianfeng again, and hurriedly bowed and said, "Of course you can. Since you, the second master, have spoken to testify for Su Chen, I believe there must be a misunderstanding in this matter. I will definitely find out and make Su Chen innocent." Yu Zhenbei had tears in his heart, but a flattering smile on his face. He understood that they were doomed today. There was no chance to deal with Su Chen openly, unless Li Changfeng, the chief of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province, took action and convicted Su Chen personally. But with Fang Dingbang and Cheng Xianfeng around, I'm afraid that, even if Li Changfeng personally arrested Su Chen, he might not succeed. Cheng Xianfeng said in a deep voice, "If Inspector Yu can help Mr. Su clear his grievances, that would be the best. If you are unable to do it due to your limited ability, I don't mind finding someone to help you." Yu Zhenbei knew that this was Cheng Xianfeng warning him not to do anything. He hurriedly said, "I dare not trouble you, second master. I, Yu Zhenbei, will definitely give you a satisfactory explanation for this matter." Yu Zhenbei was extremely respectful on the surface, but he hated Su Chen to death in his heart. He had decided that, if he couldn't deal with Su Chen openly, he would do it secretly. In short, Su Chen must die. He and Su Chen had already formed a feud. If Su Chen didn't die, I'm afraid that, when he grew up in the future, he would be doomed. Cheng Shai and Feng saw Yu Xinbei retreat and nodded. He turned his head and bowed to Su Chen, saying, "Mr. Su, I'll wait for you to come to the villa." Su Chen thanked. "Thank you, Mr. Cheng. It should be." Cheng Shai and Feng said politely, "If you have any instructions, just greet me directly." Seeing Cheng Shai and Feng's attitude towards Su Chen, Yu Xinbei became even more desperate. Cheng Shai and Feng was about to turn around and leave, but just after taking 2 steps, he suddenly thought of something. He turned his head and looked at Yu Xinbei again. By the way, Yu Xinbei just breathed a sigh of relief, and instantly he was relieved again. The humility on Yu Xinbei's face and the hatred in his heart formed 2 extremes. Cheng Shai and Feng glanced at Zhou Wanqiu, and then said, "I have something else, and I would like to trouble Inspector Yu for help." Yu Xinbei bowed and said, "Second master, you are too polite. If you have anything, just tell me. I, Yu Xinbei, will do my best to get it done for you." The deterrent power of the Cheng family in Changjing is so terrifying. Yu Xinbei dared not even give face to Fang Dingbang, but had to submit to Cheng Shai and Feng. Cheng Shai and Feng said in a deep voice, "Mr. Su is my friend and my guest. His friends are naturally my friends too. So, I would like to ask Inspector Yu to help me protect Mr. Su's friends. If Mr. Su is not at ease because of his friends when he comes to visit me, wouldn't it be impolite to my Cheng family?" What methods has Cheng Shai and Feng not seen? As soon as Yu Xinbei moved his eyes, he saw what the other party was planning. Therefore, he pointed it out directly. If Yu Xinbei dared to take action against the people around him while Su Chen was away, he would be an enemy of the entire Cheng family. Cheng Shai and Feng wanted Su Chen to treat his daughter, so he naturally had to make sure that Su Chen was focused. He would never be distracted by other things and affect the treatment of Cheng Yuheng. Yu Xinbei's face rose. Cheng Shai and Feng's words clearly meant to cut off his retreat. Su Chen was staying at the Cheng family, and he couldn't come to the door to take him away. He had only one way, which was to lure Su Chen out by using the safety of Su Chen's people. But now, Cheng Shai and Feng said so again. Cheng Shai and Feng looked at Yu Xinbei with a deep meaning. "Inspector Yu, I believe you can understand what I mean, right?" Yu Xinbei said with a sad face, "I understand, I understand." At this time, how dare he say he didn't understand? Cheng Shai and Feng smiled. "Very good. Since Inspector Yu agreed, I hope you can keep your word. If Inspector Yu breaks my promise, I will personally seek justice from you." After saying that, Cheng Shai and Feng turned around and said hello to Fang Dingbang and his wife, then got in the car and waited. Su Chen smiled and looked at Yu Xinbei and Yi Changru. The two were so angry, but they didn't dare to move at all. "Humph." Su Chen snorted coldly and turned his eyes away. He had already remembered today's revenge. These 2 old guys were also on his must-kill list. Su Chen believed that this day would not be too far away. Then, he turned his head to look at Fang Dingbang and Zhang Jinqiu. Under the watchful eyes of the public, Su Chen couldn't act too close to Fang Dingbang. After all, Fang Dingbang has a huge influence. Su Chen's mortal enemy was also present at the scene. If there was any gossip, it would also affect Fang Dingbang. Therefore, Su Chen just bowed to the 2 of them and expressed his gratitude through voice transmission. Fang Dingbang and Zhang Jinqiu smiled. They understood that with Cheng Shai and Feng around, it would be difficult for Yu Xinbei to deal with Su Chen, so the 2 of them left with peace of mind. Su Chen turned to look at Zhou Wanqiu and said in a deep voice, "Mr. Zhao, will you come with me to Cheng's house?" Even if Yu Xinbei made a promise under the coercion of Cheng Shai and Feng, Su Chen was still not at ease. There are too many ways to harm people. Even if Yu Xinbei does not act openly, there may be countless ways in secret. As long as the method is covert enough, no one can prove that it was Yu Xinbei who did it. Zhou Wanqiu hesitated for a moment. Then, she shook her head and said, "Not for the time being. The Quinning Entertainment City Food Center project will be officially launched in the next 2 days. If I go to the Cheng family, I'm afraid this will come to a standstill." Zhou Wanqiu said, turning her head to look at the messy square, and said helplessly, "Today, Quinning Entertainment City has been messed up like this, and I should stay to clean up the mess." Zhou Wanqiu's face was full of self-blame. In her opinion, Yu Xinbei and others were also coming for her. The losses of Kuniying Entertainment City should also be compensated and handled by her. Su Chen was a little helpless. He understood Zhou Wanqiu's strong character. Just as Su Chen was hesitating and tangled. On the side, Meng Diqiu, who had been watching the show, hurried over. Mr. Su, you can go to the Cheng family with peace of mind. I, Meng Diqiu, will be fully responsible for Mr. Zhao's safety. I promise that I will never let anyone hurt Mr. Zhao's before. Meng Diqiu patted his chest loudly. At this moment, he seemed to have forgotten who had just deserted the battlefield, and even threatened Zhang Langhu, that he would join forces with Yu Xinbei and others. Meng Diqiu had a flattering smile on his face, but his heart was beating fast. He also knew that he had deserted the battlefield before, which was really hated by others. Now, he also regretted it. But Meng Diqiu also felt wronged. If he had known earlier that Su Chen was on good terms with the Cheng family in Shangjing, he would never have given up Su Chen for fear of offending Jinglin Villa. Jinglin Villa is quite powerful, but compared with the Cheng family in Shangjing, it is nothing. Once you rely on the Cheng family, won't it be just around the corner to rise to prominence? Sure enough, Su Chen has more potential. Meng Diqiu looked at Su Chen with anticipation, and his heart was very nervous. On the side, Zhang Langhu was almost furious. 3 chapters have been updated, but the first chapter has been blocked. The next 2 chapters are directly advanced to the front. Brothers, it should be missing the first chapter, and the editor is off work now. It should be released tomorrow. Everyone, please read the first update tomorrow. Good night. Chapter 692, Capricious. Zhang Langhu was furious when he saw Meng Diqiu like this. He rushed forward, pointed at Meng Diqiu and shouted angrily, "Old man, do you still have any shame? Leave President Zhao to you? Do you think you are worthy? When there are more enemies attacking President Zhao next time, won't you surrender immediately and abandon President Zhao to escape by yourself?" Zhang Langhu didn't give Meng Diqiu any face. Even if Meng Diqiu was thick-skinned, he couldn't help blushing when he heard this. He was also a powerful man in the God realm, and he couldn't stand being scolded like this. Meng Diqiu wanted to turn around and leave. However, he was really unwilling to give up like this. Judging from Cheng Shai and Feng's attitude just now, the Cheng family will definitely protect Su Chen. In this way, Su Chen will definitely have a chance to grow up. According to Su Chen's talent, as long as he grows up, he will definitely take off. Moreover, even the Cheng family is optimistic about Su Chen. Doesn't this further prove Su Chen's potential? With such a big chance of winning, how can Meng Diqiu bear not to bet? He racked his brains and argued, I just haven't recovered from my injuries yet, so I'm not a match for Yi Changru for the time being. I didn't think of escaping, that was just my expedient plan. I was trying to confuse the other party, so that I could act when the opportunity arose. Just now, when Chen Zifeng kidnapped Mr. Zhao, I was looking for an opportunity to rescue him. These words were said in a serious manner. Even Meng Diqiu himself almost believed them. Over the years, he has grown not only in age, but also in face. He has not only broken through in vitality, but also in his ability to argue. Ridiculous. That's bullshit. Zhang Langhu laughed when he heard this. It can be said that, apart from Chen Zifeng, Meng Diqiu in front of him is the most shameless God realm expert he has ever seen. Zhang Langhu turned around and told Su Chen what had happened before. He did not exaggerate, but just told the truth. As a result, this made Su Chen's face gloomy. No wonder Su Chen didn't see Meng Diqiu just now. It turned out that this guy was hiding and watching the show. This old bastard said it nicely. What is waiting for the opportunity? If it weren't for his desperate comeback, would Meng Diqiu jump out now? I'm afraid he would have escaped long ago. Su Chen had long felt that Meng Diqiu was a person who was profit-seeking and righteous. But he didn't expect that this old guy would be so unethical. Su Chen didn't like this kind of fence-sitter who followed whoever was in power. Su Chen looked at Meng Diqiu and said in a deep voice, I dare not trouble Mr. Meng. Besides, Mr. Meng is injured, and it's not convenient. In the future, if we encounter a greater danger than today, it would be bad to implicate Mr. Meng again. Su Chen said this politely, but anyone could hear that he meant to draw a clear line. As he said that, Su Chen looked at Zhang Longhu again, clasped his fists and said, Master Zhang, I'll trouble you to take responsibility for Mr. Zhao's safety. Compared to Meng Deqiu, who was a fence sitter, Zhang Longhu was more reliable. Whether it was his character or his strength, he was strong enough. Zhang Longhu immediately said, Mr. Su, you can rest assured to leave Mr. Zhao's safety to me. Unless I, Zhang, fall down first, no one can touch Mr. Zhao's hair. I, Zhang Longhu, am definitely not the kind of person who would abandon Mr. Zhao and run away. As he said that, Zhang Longhu looked at Meng Deqiu and snorted disdainfully. What he despised most was this kind of traitor who forgot his loyalty for the sake of profit and surrendered to the enemy in battle. Meng Deqiu's face turned green and red. Seeing that Su Chen was about to give up on himself completely, Meng Deqiu was very anxious. Su Chen was only in his early 20s, but he had already reached the heavenly man realm of body refining and could fight in the middle stage of the god realm. Moreover, he was a genius who cultivated his physical body, vitality, and mental power at the same time. More importantly, he has Fang Dingbang and the Cheng family of Shangjing to protect him, so he can step safely into the peak of martial arts in the future. Moreover, through Su Chen, Meng Deqiu may be able to get in touch with the Cheng family and enter the circle of Shangjing. As long as he enters the circle of Shangjing, whether it is wealth and honor or cultivation resources, he will have everything he wants. If he misses such an opportunity, he will never meet such a thigh in his life. Meng Deqiu made up his mind. He bent down and bowed suddenly, saying with a face of grievance, Mr. Su, I did not consider the previous things carefully. I only considered letting the enemy relax their vigilance against me and then looking for an opportunity to win, so I ignored Mr. Zhao's safety. Fortunately, Mr. Zhao is fine, otherwise I really don't know how to explain to you. I promise you that Mr. Zhao's safety will definitely be the first priority in the future. If something like today happens again, I will be punished by the sky and you will be at your disposal. Meng Deqiu is also a ruthless person. He immediately promised and swore, determined to obtain Su Chen's forgiveness. On the side, Zhang Longhu was speechless when he saw Meng Deqiu being so humble. It must be said that this old bastard is still flexible. Su Chen looked at Meng Deqiu coldly, thinking in his heart. He naturally knew whether Meng Deqiu's words were true or false, but he had to consider whether it was worth it. Seeing Su Chen hesitate, Meng Deqiu hurriedly said, Mr. Su, I'm more familiar with Jinglin Villa. I know a lot of their despicable means and routines. It is most appropriate for me to protect President Zhao. If Jinglin Villa wants to move the people around you, I will never agree. Meng Deqiu completely stood on Su Chen's side and was willing to be the enemy of Su Chen and Jinglin Villa. Su Chen pondered for a moment and made the final decision. He arched his hands and said coldly, since Mr. Meng has said so, then Mr. Meng and Zhang will work together to protect President Zhao. However, I hope that this will not happen again. Meng Deqiu's face was overjoyed, and he immediately patted his chest loudly, indicating that there was no problem. Su Chen looked at him deeply and said nothing more. He knew in his heart that Meng Deqiu and he were not the same kind of people. Their values were different and their styles of doing things were very different. If he chose a friend, Su Chen would never want to contact someone like Meng Deqiu again. But if he chose him as a subordinate, Su Chen didn't think he needed to have too high a moral cleanliness. Villains have their own ways, and gentlemen have their own ways. Meng Deqiu is an egoistic, cowardly person. But at the same time, he is also a master of the god realm. Nowadays, there are too few people available around Su Chen. One more battle force from Meng Deqiu means one more force. With this previous experience, when Meng Deqiu protects Zhou Wanqiu, he will only try to show himself in order to make up for his image in Su Chen's heart. At this time, Meng Deqiu can be used. Moreover, next, Su Chen will fully prepare to treat Cheng Yuheng and has no time to take care of the outside. With one more god realm strongman protecting Zhou Wanqiu, Su Chen will also feel at ease. At this moment, Su Chen's mentality has changed. He has seen clearly that, in order to protect the people around him, he still has to build his own forces. No matter how strong one is, there will always be a time when one cannot split himself. At this time, one can see the effect of one's own power. If one had gathered a dozen gods around him, even if Yu Bey had 10 guts, He would not dare to come and cause trouble today. That would be suicide. First update. Chapter 689 was blocked for me yesterday, and it was not released again until 10 o'clock this morning. Oh. Brothers who haven't read it, you can go and read chapter 689 again. Chapter 693 King Guiyang second. This Meng DQ, you sit first. When there are more people available in the future, throw it aside. By then, I don't think Meng DQ will dare to say anything. Su Chen secretly calculated in his heart. On the side, Meng DQ didn't know that Su Chen had already blacklisted him in his heart. At this moment, he was still bowing and smiling, dreaming of becoming successful with Su Chen in the future. He didn't know at all that he was just a transitional product in Su Chen's heart. After dealing with Meng DQ's affairs, Su Chen looked coldly at Yu Xinbei and others not far away, turned around and left. After this battle, the two sides were completely mortal enemies. In the future, one of them must die. Yu Xinbei looked at Su Chen's back and hated him so much that his teeth itched. He clenched his fists and creaked. Su Chen. The suppressed hatred made Yu Xinbei's eyes red. Yi Changru's face was also very ugly. He and Zhang Long, whose fight did not suppress each other. You know, when he became famous, Zhang Longhu was nothing. He also heard that Zhang Longhu was seriously injured and had not recovered. What the hell is this fake information? This is called seriously injured and not recovered, isn't he rubbish? However, the most difficult thing for Yi Changru is Su Chen. Not to mention his strength and talent. The key is that he is actually related to the Cheng family in Shangjing. This time, I'm afraid it will be difficult to deal with. But the owner of the manor gave him another order, and he must take Su Chen's head. Humph. Yi Changru snorted coldly. He vented his resentment on Yu Xinbei. Is this your good idea? Now it's good. Not only did you not catch Su Chen, but you also implicated the Cheng family and publicly protected him. Inspector Yu, your good idea really made us lose more than we gain. Yi Changru was full of resentment. Jinglin Villa, the tiger catching guard, the dragon slaying guard, and the Liu family in Shangjing, each one is more famous than the other. A group of people excitedly discussed cooperation, but what was the result? In less than one round, Su Chen didn't lose a hair, but they directly lost two God Realm fighters. Huang Sanson was seriously injured and could not participate in the battle, and Chen Zifeng was directly killed by Su Chen. Now, the Shangjing Cheng family is involved. How can they attack Su Chen? Yu Xinbei's face was also gloomy. Hearing Yi Changru's words, he was a little manic. But he could only suppress his temper. Now, Jinglin Villa is the only one he can cooperate with. He can't break up with Jinglin Villa because of anger. Yu Xinbei said in a deep voice, what are you afraid of? Although the Cheng family can protect Su Chen for a while, they can't protect Su Chen forever. Then Cheng Shai and Feng can't stay in Dongzhou province forever to protect Su Chen. As far as I know, next month is the Feng Shu ceremony held by the Cheng family every 3 years. By then, Cheng Shai and Feng must go back. At most, he can only protect Su Chen for half a month. Yi Changru narrowed his eyes slightly. Is your information true? Yu Xinbei said coldly, I came from Shangjing. How can I not know about this kind of thing? Yi Changru nodded. It's only half a month. He can wait. He didn't believe that Su Chen could make any huge waves in this half month. Yu Xinbei said coldly, Su Chen has just broken through the divine realm physically. It is unlikely that he will break through again in other aspects within half a month. When Cheng Shai and Feng leaves Dongzhou province, that will be the day when Su Chen dies. We still have 4 masters at the divine realm level here. I don't believe that we can't take down a mere Xianshan realm with the combined strength of the 4 of us. Hearing this, Yi Changru's face finally looked better. Yu Xinbei was relieved to see that Yi Changru's anger had subsided. At this time, Feng Linhe led his men over. Just now, when the divine realm battle was going on here, he and the people of the tiger group hid in the corner and trembled. It was not until this time that he saw that only Yu Xinbei and Yi Changru were left in the square that he dared to come out. Inspector Yu, what should we do now? Feng Linhe's voice trembled. He looked at the incomplete body of Chen Zifeng and was a little frightened. Before, Wu Daoning, the deputy leader of his tiger group, targeted Su Chen because of his nephew Wu Chaoxing and was killed by Su Chen. Later, Feng Linhei promoted Zhu Yihan to be the deputy leader of the Tiger Group, but Zhu Yihan was killed by Su again. Now, Feng Linhei joined Chen Zifeng, the deputy chief of the guards, and just when he was about to show his skills, Chen Zifeng was killed by Su Chen again. Feng Linhei felt that Su Chen seemed to be his bad luck star. Whoever he was close to, Su Chen would kill. When Yu Zhenbei saw Feng Linhei, he started to curse. "Where did you go just now? You are a waste. When you were needed, you stayed away. When you were not needed, you ran over like a dog." Yu Zhenbei was not good at getting angry with Yi Changru for the sake of cooperation. But he was full of anger and couldn't hold it back. Now that he caught Feng Linhei, he was going crazy. Feng Linhei was scolded and looked ugly. He said aggrievedly, "Inspector Yu, this is not my fault. I'm just in the Xianshan realm. I can't participate in the battle of your level at all." After Yu Zhenbei cursed, he felt better. HMPH. He snorted coldly and stopped scolding. Seeing that Yu Zhenbei's expression had eased, Feng Linhei asked a question cautiously. "Inspector Yu, who exactly is that Cheng Arai? Why do I think you are more respectful to him than to the provincial governor? I feel that Cheng Arai's not a warrior. If he fights, he shouldn't be able to take even a palm from you, right?" Feng Linhei asked the question that he had been holding back for a long time. He didn't know Cheng Shai and Feng. He had heard of a big family in Shangjing, but he didn't know what Cheng Shai and Feng was about. However, when Yu Zhenbei heard this, the anger that had been calmed down with great difficulty suddenly came out again. He glared at Feng Linhei and cursed, "Idiot. Don't you know that in addition to the martial gods who value vitality, there are also spiritual masters? You still want me to fight Cheng Shai and Feng? How big a grudge do you have against me? You think I've lived too long, right?" Feng Linhei was directly stunned by the scolding. He asked in a trembling voice, "Is that man so powerful?" Yu Zhenbei sneered, "Haha. And he was killed with one palm. If I had attacked him just now, even if I had this thought, he would have killed me and wiped out my whole family." Yu Zhenbei's words were not exaggerated at all. This is a terrifying thing about the Feng Shu family. They are kind to others, and they don't seem to fight or rob, and don't make enemies with others. But in fact, all those who have grudges against them have been quietly destroyed. Without the cultivation of the peak of the divine realm, offending the Cheng family will only lead to death. Cheng Shai and Feng looks gentle, but if he is really angry, his means are cruel. Yu Zhenbei calls him the second master, not only because he is the second son of the head of the Cheng family, but also because of his own strong strength. Cheng Shai and Feng is the second on the Qingyang list of Shangjing Immortal Masters. Second update. Chapter 689 was blocked for me yesterday, and it was not released again until 10 o'clock this morning. Brothers who haven't read it can go back to read chapter 689. Chapter 694, 3 shocks. Second on the Qingyang list. On the side, Yi Changru was also a little shocked. The Dragon and Tiger list is an internal list set by the official related organizations headed by the Tiger Capture Guard and the Dragon Slaughter Guard. The Tiger list records the innate realm masters, and the Dragon list records the divine realm masters. But in fact, many divine realm masters evaluate the strength of their opponents by referring to another list, the martial arts list and the Qingyang list. The martial arts list records the Yuanqi martial god, and the Qingyang list records the spiritual immortal master. The divine realm masters collected by these two lists are more complete and accurate than the dragon list of the dragon and tiger list. Shangjing immortal master is second on the Qingyang list. What does this mean? The entire Shangjing old generation does not come out, and among the middle-aged and young masters, only one person can suppress Cheng Shai and Feng in mental power. And what is he? Yu Zhenbei? He can't even enter the top 50 of the Shangjing martial arts list. What can he use to fight Cheng Shai and Feng? Although the calculation methods of mental power and Yuanqi martial arts combat power are different, but when the rankings on both sides are similar, the combat power is basically not much different. So powerful? Feng Linhei was a little surprised. At this moment, his eyes flickered, and his heart was tangled. Su Chen was actually protected by such a powerful person. Feng Linhei suddenly felt that he should not continue to offend Su Chen. Although Su Chen killed his confidant and lost his face, but those confidants were just cultivated by him. Those guys were not born by him and had no blood relationship with him. Speaking of it, he was just forced by Qin Qingmui to apologize to Su Chen. Apart from losing some face, it was not a big deal. Thinking of this, Feng Linhei felt that there was no unsolvable feud between him and Su Chen. Or, I will find an opportunity to surrender to Su Chen and get closer to him. Feng Linhei thought about it, and suddenly his eyes lit up. That's right. I still have the bargaining chip for surrender. Before, in order to win him over, Chen Zifeng mentioned a secret about Qin Qingmui. Su Chen must be interested. The more Feng Linhei thought about it, the more excited he became. On the side, Yu Xinbei and Yi Changru were still discussing the follow-up plan. They did not expect that someone beside them was ready to rebel. On the other side, Su Chen followed Cheng Shai and Feng and arrived at the Cheng family villa by car. He went to see Cheng Yuheng first. This woman is indeed beautiful to the point of being almost Taoist. She just lay here quietly, like a fairy from the world. Although her eyes are not open yet, she is already dazzlingly beautiful. Even someone like Su Chen, who is used to seeing beautiful women, can't help but want to take a few more glances. Su Chen instructed Bian Sanson and Lu Daokan to give Cheng Yuheng another injection to stabilize her condition. If he teaches these two people a little more, he can also be more relaxed. In case of any accidents, Bian Sanson and Lu Daokan can also hold on for a while. Thank you, Mr. Su. On the side, Cheng Shai and Feng saw that Cheng Yuheng's breath returned to normal under Su Chen's command and treatment, and he breathed a sigh of relief. With his daughter's current condition, how could she do without Su Chen's treatment? Not to mention that he was just a Dragon Slayer inspector. Even if the head of the Liu family had personally taken action against Su Chen, he would not have backed down. Mr. Cheng, you are too polite. Su Chen bowed to Cheng Shai and Feng and said, I would also like to thank Mr. Cheng for standing up for me just now. No matter what Cheng Shai and Feng's purpose was, since the other party stood up for him, Su Chen would remember the other party for a favor. Cheng Shai and Feng smiled. You are too kind. I also want to thank Yu Xinbei for giving me this opportunity to please Mr. Su. Cheng Shai and Feng said what was in his heart. Before, he heard that Su Chen was back, so he went to discuss the preparations for the seal with him. Unexpectedly, after Su Chen came back, he received a message and left in a hurry. Cheng Shai and Feng noticed something was wrong and was worried that Su Chen would get into trouble, so he followed him to see. Unexpectedly, it almost happened. After combining the information from the Cheng family to understand the situation and witnessing the whole process, Cheng Shai and Feng was also surprised. Seeing that Su Chen, who had a gentle personality, was so decisive when he took action. The people of Liu family in Shangjing can be destroyed at any time. The masters in the middle stage of the divine realm can be beaten at any time. Just now, he even fought two people one-on-one and found time to kill a deputy guard of the Tiger Guard in the early stage of the divine realm. Even though Cheng Shai and Feng is knowledgeable, he was shocked by Su Chen. Even among the younger generation in Shangjing, there are few talents that can surprise him so much. Cheng Shai and Feng bowed and said, Mr. Su, you must be very tired at this moment. I have prepared the yard for Mr. Su to rest. In addition, if Mr. Su needs anything, just ask. After all, the better you recover, the more hope there will be for my daughter. Cheng Shai and Feng is very good at talking. He was afraid that Su Chen would be embarrassed and feel that he owed the Cheng family a favor and didn't speak. He used Cheng Yuheng as an excuse so that Su Chen could not refuse. Thank you very much, Mr. Cheng. Su Chen clasped his fists to thank him. Then, he returned to the yard arranged by Cheng Shai and Feng to rest. The successive battles have made Su Chen exhausted. His mental strength and vitality are almost exhausted, and they are in urgent need of replenishment. The courtyard of the Cheng family is full of vitality, which can speed up his recovery. However, it is a bit difficult to recover his mental strength, and it takes enough time. But Su Chen is not in a hurry. With Cheng Shai and Feng coming out to intimidate Yu Xinbei and others, he should have enough time to recover next. On the side, Cheng Sun saw Su Chen leaving, took out a USB flash drive from his pocket, and handed it to Cheng Shai and Feng. Cheng Sun said, Second Master, this is what you asked me to check. On the surface, all the information about Mr. Su is here. Cheng Shai and Feng asked him to investigate Su Chen's information, but he didn't want him to cause Su Chen's disgust. Cheng Sun understood that this was asking him to check some situations that everyone knew, but he couldn't pry into Su Chen's privacy. These things are easy to get. With the strength of the Cheng family, just make a phone call, and it will be done. Plug it in and see. Cheng Xianfeng was quite interested. Soon, a lot of information about Su Chen was displayed on the monitor. There were text introductions, pictures, and some video clips of battles. It can be said that all the battles after Su Chen came out of the mountain village, as long as there was a video, even if it was accidentally recorded, were collected. This is the power of the Cheng family. Half an hour later, Cheng Sun was stunned when he saw the fight between Su Chen and Huang Sanson in the surveillance video on the monitor. This second master, is this true? Cheng Sun was dumbfounded. Mr. Su, the body refining heavenly realm. He fought against Huang Sanson, a dual god realm master who was a spiritual power immortal master and a vital energy martial god, and he almost killed Huang Sanson? Cheng Sun said. He stretched out his hand and pinched his arm. Hiss. The severe pain made him gasp. He was not dreaming. In other words, all the scenes in front of him were real. It turned out that in the morning, Su Chen went to destroy a dual god realm master. And at that time, he even said shamelessly that he would help Su Chen. Thinking about it now, Cheng Sun felt his face burning. He really couldn't get involved in this level of battle. The third update is here, and the update is over. Good night, everyone. Try to be early, working hard. Chapter 689 was blocked for me yesterday, and it was not released again until 10 o'clock this morning. Brothers who haven't read it, you can go back and read chapter 689. I'm really sorry. Good night. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 695. Are you married? The battle between Su Chen and Huang Sanson was very exciting. It can be said that this was the most powerful enemy Su Chen had defeated single-handedly. If Yu Xinbei and others had not arrived later, Su Chen would have had a chance to defeat the strong with the weak and kill Huang Sanson. Such an exciting battle, even Cheng Xianfeng couldn't help but watch the surveillance video twice. With his knowledge, it was easy to see the details of the battle between the two. The more Cheng Xianfeng watched, the more surprised he was. He didn't expect that Su Chen was not only a superb doctor, but also had such a high level of martial arts attainments. Genius. Cheng Xianfeng exclaimed. Cheng Sun echoed on the side. Yes. Mr. Su is so young, but he has already stepped into the realm of gods and become a body refining celestial being. He is indeed a genius in martial arts practice. Cheng Xianfeng shook his head. He said, I'm not saying that Su Chen is a genius in martial arts practice. I mean, Su Chen is a genius in fighting. Cheng Sun looked puzzled and puzzled. Cheng Xianfeng explained, Su Chen's control over the battle situation is perfect, to a very terrifying level. Take his battle with Huang Sanson as an example. In fact, in terms of hard power, even though Su Chen is a fellow practitioner of the three paths, his overall strength is not as strong as Huang Sanson's. But if you observe carefully, you will find that Huang Sanson has been led by Su Chen since he started to attack. It can even be said that Huang Sanson's vitality and mental consumption are all under Su Chen's careful design. He is like a yellow cow with a nose ring and being led by someone, and Su Chen is the cowherd. All of Su Chen's actions are paving the way for the final blow. If Su Chen is given some more time, perhaps he can kill Huang Sanson. Cheng San's face was full of astonishment. Cheng Xianfeng continued, Su Chen's body refining heavenly man should have just broken through, and the degree of utilization of his strong physical body can be improved. Moreover, his Yang Shen should have just condensed not long ago, and he has not fully understood the use of Yang Shen. If Su Chen is given a few more days to completely master the wonders of Yang Shen, Huang Sanson will probably be in a worse situation. Cheng Xianfeng praised Su Chen. He could see that Su Chen won because of his accurate grasp of the battle situation and his IQ. But Su Chen failed to kill Huang Sanson, and it was only because of his lack of hard power. If Su Chen was a little stronger, Huang Sanson would not have survived. Because of his daughter Cheng Yuheng, Cheng Xianfeng did not like any of the younger male warriors. Today, Su Chen broke this rule. Cheng Xianfeng stretched out his hand and said lightly, "There are no more than a handful of geniuses in the whole Shangjing who can compare with Su Chen. And most of those young people are from big families and have no shortage of martial arts resources. But Su Chen grew up on his own. If Su Chen was born in our Cheng family, he would have a great chance of becoming the #1 genius of the contemporary era." Chengsun was a little shocked when he heard this evaluation. In the past, he had never seen Cheng Xianfeng praise young warriors so much. "Second master, you have such a high evaluation of Mr. Su. Could it be?" Chengsun hesitated, wanting to say something, but not daring to say it. He said halfway, and looked at Cheng Xianfeng tentatively. Cheng Xianfeng glanced at Cheng San, and knew what he meant. He smiled lightly and said, "Su Chen's words are not impossible. High talent, good character, it is still in my taste. But, this kind of thing still depends on Yu Heng's opinion." Chengsun was shocked. He just said it casually. In fact, he regretted it as soon as he said it. Because Cheng Yuheng has always been Cheng Xianfeng's Achilles heel. He is a daughter-obsessed man who looks down on any man, regardless of the other party's family background or strength. Cheng Xianfeng thinks that the other party is rubbish, not even worthy of his daughter's toes. Chengsun never expected that his second master would be so satisfied with Su Chen. Thinking of this, he was about to sweat again. If he had known this, he shouldn't have been so arrogant when he went to invite Su Chen. This man could become the young master. No, I have to find a chance to make up for the relationship. Chengsun was calculating frantically in his mind. Cheng Xianfeng thought about it, got up and took out a solid wooden box from the study. "Go. Give this to Su Chen." Cheng Xianfeng handed the box to Cheng San. He added, "This is not included in the medical fee." Chengsun was shocked when he saw the wooden box. The second master actually valued Su Chen so much that he even gave this thing away. Yes. Chengsun didn't dare to say much, took the wooden box respectfully with both hands, and turned to give it to Su Chen. The courtyard. This time, Chengsun was obviously more reserved and unusually respectful in front of Su Chen. Even Su Chen himself was a little surprised. "Mr. Su, this is a personal gift from the second master to you, as a thank you for helping the young master stabilize the situation." As he spoke, Chengsun held the brocade box in both hands, bent over and raised it in front of Su Chen. That respectful attitude was like an ancient eunuch facing the emperor. Su Chen wanted to refuse. After all, Cheng Xianfeng had just helped him. Even if Cheng Xianfeng was for Cheng Yuheng's treatment, since he came forward, Su Chen must remember a favor from him. But just as Su Chen was about to speak, he suddenly realized something was wrong. He felt a familiar burning breath slowly coming out of the wooden box. Su Chen's face was shocked. He hurriedly took the wooden box and opened it. Inside, there was a round pill. Yang Yuan pill. Moreover, the yuan yang qi of this Yang Yuan pill is much stronger than the one in the hands of brother Liu Beicheng. Su Chen's eyes lit up immediately. Things like Yang Yuan Dan are hard to come by. But for a family like the Cheng family that focuses on spiritual power, although it is extremely precious, it is not a very rare thing. However, for Su Chen, it is indeed urgently needed at the moment. Su Chen did not refuse. He bowed and said, "Thank you, Mr. Cheng, for me." He is not a hypocritical person. He obviously wants it, but he still pretends to refuse. However, Su Chen will not take this Yang Yuan Dan for nothing. In the future, he will find a way to repay Cheng Xianfeng for this favor. Chengsun saw Su Chen accept it, and then he laughed. He clasped his fists and said, "Mr. Su, you are welcome. My second master admires you very much. You know, if it was someone else, even if it was the Xianjiao of the Shangjing nobles, the second master would not give a good face, let alone get the treasure given by the second master. Mr. Su, you are the first person who can make the second master praise you." At this point, Chengsun paused. He looked at Su Chen and asked tentatively, "By the way, Mr. Su, you are not very old, so you should not be married, right?" This was both a test and a hint. Su Chen was not very old, but he was very capable. Chengsun felt that such a genius must have no shortage of women around him. but it doesn't matter. As long as he is not married, it doesn't matter. First update. Chapter 696, The Terrifying Cheng Family. Hearing Cheng San's question, Zhou Wanqiu's figure immediately emerged in Su Chen's mind. He wanted to give a positive answer, but thinking of the agreement between Zhou Wanqiu and him, he had to stop there. Fate has not yet arrived, why worry? Su Chen said lightly, and he smiled bitterly in his heart. Not to mention, Zhou Wanqiu did not let him publicize their relationship. Even based on the actual situation, he and Zhou Wanqiu are not husband and wife. The marriage certificate is fake, and there is no husband and wife. The two are more like cooperation, making the old man of the Zhou family happy together. When Cheng San heard this, he immediately showed a relaxed smile. He laughed and said, haha, yes, don't worry, Mr. Su, I'll leave my young master to you. I won't bother Mr. Su here. If you have anything, call me at any time. After Cheng San finished speaking, he said goodbye and left. Su Chen is not married. He has to tell the second master this good news quickly. Looking at Cheng San's meaningful smile, Su Chen felt puzzled. He was too lazy to think too much, and directly closed the door to practice and heal his wounds. Mental power can be cultivated independently and does not interfere with vital energy. Therefore, even if Su Chen's vital energy has not yet recovered, he can still cultivate mental power. Su Chen put the Yang Yuandan in his mouth. In an instant, the Yang Yuandan was like a wax ball encountering a flame, turning into a warm current, sliding directly into the abdomen without swallowing. The Yang Qi content and concentration of this Yang Yuandan is 3 times or even more than that of brother Liu Beidao's Yang Yuandan. This level of Yang Qi intensity made Su Chen's Yin Shen a little uncomfortable. Yin Shen out. Su Chen condensed the Yin Shen to let the Yang Qi explode freely in the Niwen Palace. The weak and illusory Yang Shen instantly became energetic, like a dragon returning to the deep sea and a phoenix soaring into the sky, madly absorbing pure Yang Qi to replenish himself. It took Su Chen a full hour to use the Yang Shen to absorb all this pure energy. Su Chen released the Yang Shen. Then he saw that his Yang Shen was like a small sun. The light was brilliant. Even, it made people feel a little bit of burning. Su Chen was overjoyed. The Cheng family stuff is really good. My Yang Shen's condensation is at least twice as solid as before. If I can have 3 more Yang Yuandan like this, my Yang Shen can be completely condensed and then move towards the spiritual god. Although it is only twice as solid as before, don't underestimate this one time. The previous Yang Shen prototype was condensed with 2 Yang Yuandan, plus Su Chen's continuous condensation with an ethereal visualization technique. You know, the higher the base number, the more terrifying the effect after doubling. The multiple of 1 is only 2, but the multiple of 10 is 20. Now, a Yang Yuandan from the Cheng family has doubled Su Chen's Yang Shen's concentration, which is simply against the sky. Su Chen felt the power of his Yang Shen. He felt that, if his Yang Shen could be so condensed, when he fought with Huang Sanzin before, Huang Sanzin might not have a chance to survive. Su Chen gathered his Yang Shen alone into the Niwen Palace, and then carefully felt the power of his Yang Shen. As the Yang God became more condensed, Su Chen's understanding of the role of the Yang God became deeper. The effect of the Yang God in daytime battles is much stronger than that of the Yin God, especially in terms of recovery. During the day, the Yang God can fight, while absorbing the true Yang and the Sun to replenish energy. Even after the Yin God and the Yang God merge, this ability can also be applied to the Yin God. Just like the longevity energy in Su Chen's body, he can fight and heal at the same time. This is simply too cool. Generally speaking, the spiritual power masters who cultivate the Yang God will have higher and stronger combat power. And on the spiritual power battle list, the number of Yang God masters has an absolute advantage. Even so, it is because a Yang God is not easy to cultivate, and there are few people who cultivate it. If the difficulty of cultivating the Yang God is similar to that of the Yin God, I'm afraid that there will be few people who cultivate the Yin God. In addition to recovery, the Yang God can also cast some spells, such as the burning body spell, the light body spell, etc. Some of these spells can be used on the enemy, while others can be used on oneself. In this way, Su Chen has a lot more room for operation when fighting. At present, there are only 2 applications of Yang Shen that Su Chen has comprehended. but he thinks that this should not be the end, it is just the starting point of Yang Shen's power. However, Su Chen's Yang Shen is still not strong enough. 3 days passed in a flash. With the help of various precious herbs of the Cheng family, Su Chen has recovered to his peak. He also experienced what it means to be a resource-rich family. I have to say that it is really great to have a big family behind you. Su Chen, according to your instructions, everything needed to treat Yu Heng has been prepared. Now, Cheng Shai and Feng no longer calls him Mr. Su. Moreover, the look he gave Su Chen was also filled with consideration and scrutiny. This made Su Chen feel strange. He wondered if he had offended Cheng Shai and Feng in some way. It couldn't be that he had consumed too many resources and Cheng Shai and Feng felt sorry for him, right? The Cheng family should not be so stingy. Su Chen was too lazy to think about it. He turned to look at what the Cheng family had prepared. Mountain and river ruler, star ceiling net, heavenly heart needle, extremely cold glazed cover. Su Chen looked at these magic weapons and was envious. It was indeed a wealthy family. Magic weapons are extremely precious. Some of them are weapons, while others are not weapons, but are just tools with special functions. Each magic weapon is not only precious in materials, but more importantly, it is more troublesome to make. The array plate can be made by a strong person in the innate realm, but the magic weapon requires an extremely powerful spiritual master, which takes a lot of effort to make. The spiritual master needs a long time to condense the situation of mountains and rivers into the magic weapon. Moreover, the failure rate is extremely high, just like burning money. Even if the family is rich, it can't afford too many failures. Su Chen looked at Cheng Shai and Feng in shock. The strength of the Cheng family really shocked him again and again. Any of these things, I'm afraid it can affect the rise and fall of a family. In addition to these magic weapons that need to be used, Cheng Shai and Feng also prepared a lot of spiritual medicines. This is also what Su Chen asked. There are several strains that are extremely rare, but the Cheng family still managed to get them for Su Chen within a few days. Su Chen suppressed his shock and checked everything. He nodded and said, everything is prepared correctly. Next, we can do two things at the same time and prepare separately. Cheng Shai and Feng raised his eyebrows and asked, what do I need to do? Su Chen said in a deep voice, I need to go over and refine the medicine. So, Mr. Cheng may need to work hard on the formation. Cheng Yuhang's situation is too special, and it needs to be addressed from 3 aspects. The first is the external environment, that is, the Feng Shui formation. The second is medical treatment, golden needle sealing. The last one is the mental power. It can be said that almost all the means that can be used should be used. Second update. Chapter 697, Kayang Concealing Star. Okay. Cheng Shai and Feng looked at Su Chen and nodded. What formation do you need me to set up? Cheng Shai and Feng looked proud. As for the formation, this is what the Cheng family is good at. The Cheng family focuses on Feng Shui, but Feng Shui is not just about seeing it. Most of the time, it requires human intervention to change the direction of Feng Shui. Although that is not a formation, it also contains the way of formation. Therefore, the Cheng family's understanding of formations is also very profound. They even have their own formation inheritance. Su Chen pondered and said, a total of 3 large formations are needed, inside and outside. But each large formation requires 3 small formations to maintain operation. So, there are a total of 9 formations. If I just say it simply, I'm afraid I can't explain it clearly. Here, I have a detailed formation diagram and specific arrangement methods. As he said that, Su Chen took out the Kayang Confengxing formation he wrote overnight and handed it to Cheng Shai and Feng. Just arrange it according to my description above, and you don't have to worry about the rest. After Su Chen finished speaking, he looked at Cheng Shai and Feng to see if he had any questions. Cheng Shai and Feng was very surprised. Su Chen actually knows formations? Does he really know, or is he just messing around? Cheng Shai and Feng took Su Chen's formation diagram and looked at it with doubt and suspicion. His eyes gradually became solemn, and his brows furrowed more and more tightly. But at the end, he suddenly turned into astonishment. From Cheng Shai and Feng's face, it can be clearly seen that his mind has changed from this is shit, what kind of rubbish, to it can actually be like this? There is actually such a formation in this world? Cheng Xianfeng looked up and stared at Su Chen. As the second master of the Cheng family, he has always been elegant and knowledgeable, and rarely shows such a look of loss of control. But at this time, Cheng Xianfeng has been shocked by Su Chen's formation and lost control of his expression. The Cheng family has a deep foundation and a long heritage. Cheng Xianfeng thought that, even if he had never used the formations in this world, he knew everything. But unexpectedly, the formation that Su Chen gave him made him feel his ignorance in the way of formations. Once this Qian-Kun-Feng crossing array is formed, it is almost equivalent to forming a world of its own, isolating everything from the outside. This is equivalent to using the array to separate the space of this world. What kind of terrifying power is this? In a sense, if the magic weapon can keep up, you can even use this array to create an independent world. Cheng Xianfeng didn't dare to think about it, and this array is an unbreakable trap array inside. Cheng Xianfeng felt that, if he was trapped in it, he could not think of any other results, except being exhausted to death. For a moment, Cheng Xianfeng's heart was a little nervous. He thought that it was just a mere array, and he would definitely be able to do it easily. But now after seeing the array given by Su Chen, he was afraid. After all, this involves the life of his precious daughter, and he dare not let any uncertainty exist. Cheng Xianfeng thought about it and asked worriedly, Mr. Su, this array will take at least 10 days to set up. Can Yu Heng's condition last that long? Now, Cheng Yu Heng is getting worse and worse, and his breathing is getting weaker. Even her mental power was dissipating. Her spirit was so weak that it was invisible, and it seemed that it would disappear completely at any time. Cheng Yu Heng was a spiritual power immortal master. Once her spirit dissipated, even if her body could still be supported by spiritual medicine, it would be irreparable. Now, every few hours, Su Chen had to give her acupuncture in person to stabilize her spirit. The acupuncture methods of Bian Sanson and Lu Daokan were completely useless. Even Su Chen's personal guidance was useless. It can be seen that Cheng Yu Heng's situation had reached a critical juncture. Su Chen pondered and said, then we need to prepare 10 more soul fixing grass and 10 more soul fixing grass, as well as 1 pound of soul condensing ice crystals. Cheng Xianfeng nodded quickly and said, that's no problem, it can be delivered tomorrow. As long as it was a matter of resources, his Cheng family had plenty of confidence. Even if the Cheng family didn't have ready-made ones, they could exchange them from other families. After the division of labor was completed, the two began to act separately. Su Chen estimated that it would take 5 days for him to refine the medicine. The speed was so slow because he had to interrupt the medicine refining to give Cheng Yu Heng acupuncture. Each time, it took half an hour. Otherwise, he could refine the pill within 3 days. He said 10 days, which was actually quite conservative. It should be done in 7 or 8 days. Su Chen sent messages to Zhang Langhu and Zhou Wanqiu respectively, explaining the situation and asking them to come to Cheng's house to find him at any time if they had any problems. Su Chen was about to throw his phone aside and concentrate on refining the pill. Ding-ling-ling. His phone rang. Gao Pengfei? Why is he looking for me at this time? Su Chen looked down and saw that it was Gao Pengfei's call, and he was a little confused. He answered the phone. Gao Pengfei's panicked voice came. Mr. Su, what's wrong? I went out to perform a few days of mission. How come everything changed the day after I came back? He said in a hurried voice. Why did you kill Chen Zifeng? Although Gao Pengfei also looked down on Chen Zifeng. But that guy is the deputy chief of the Tiger Guard after all. This is a big deal. Without waiting for Su Chen to speak, Gao Pengfei said again, Mr. Su, you are really in big trouble this time. I don't know how that old dog Yu Bei complained to the higher-ups. Now, the people of the inspection department of the Tiger Guard in Changjing have been alarmed. Yu Bei is the inspector of the Dragon Slaying Guard. Speaking of which, he and the Tiger Guard are not in the same system. In order to avoid the situation of protecting each other, the Tiger Guard and the Dragon Slaying Guard are patrolling each other alternately. Although, in terms of strength and status, the Dragon Slaying Guard is indeed stronger than the Tiger Guard, but after all, they are not in the same department. Although Yu Bei has the responsibility to inspect the Tiger Guard, he has no right to impose actual punishment. But now, the situation is different. The people of the inspection department of the Tiger Guard are here, and Su Chen is a consultant of the Tiger Guard. The people of the inspection department of the Tiger Guard have every reason to make any decision about Su Chen. Of course, whether Su Chen agrees or not is another matter. Oh. Captain Qin and the head of the guard can't be contacted either. Gao Pengfei was very anxious for Su Chen, although he had some conflicts with Su Chen before. But with the contact with Su Chen, he was already impressed by Su Chen's temperament and strength. Now, he is really worried that something will happen to Su Chen. I have a clear conscience. What am I afraid of? Su Chen was not worried at all. He said in a deep voice, the inspection division of the Tiger Guard can come if they want. If they are fair and just, it's fine. If they want to be dogs for use in bay, then I'm not afraid of them. The worst that can happen is a battle. Su Chen is not easy to mess with, but he is definitely not afraid of trouble. Alas. Gao Pengfei sighed when he heard Su Chen say this. He said helplessly, Mr. Su, you should stay at Cheng's house recently and try not to go out. I will find a way to find out the situation. Thank you. Su Chen thanked. Although Gao Pengfei didn't need to worry about him, the other party was also kind. Gao Pengfei continued, by the way, Mr. Su, I heard that the Shangjing Liu family has already known the news and has sent experts here. These people, plus Jinglin Villa, are not easy to deal with. Now, the outside is in chaos. You must be patient and wait for me to find out the specific information. Gao Pengfei wanted to say that no matter how strong Su Chen was, he could not deal with so many enemies at once. Su Chen smiled and said, thank you, Team Leader Gao. You should also pay attention to safety. If it is impossible, don't take risks. Don't worry about me. The third update is here. The update is over. Good night, everyone. I wish you all a happy New Year's Eve in advance. Chapter 698, The Liu Family. Hang up the phone. Su Chen showed a helpless smile on his face. His current mental state can be described in one sentence. That is, too many lice don't itch, too many debts don't worry. The enemies in the provincial capital have not been completely resolved, and now there are strong enemies coming. But Su Chen didn't know that the Liu family would send a few more gods this time. If these enemies only deal with him, he has no fear. Su Chen is just worried that those people will start with his friends around him. It seems that the establishment of forces is urgent. As for the Tiger Guard Inspection Division, Su Chen is not very worried. After all, these people have official identities and may not act too much. If they act according to the rules, Su Chen is a reasonable person. If they don't follow the rules, then Su Chen will naturally cooperate with them according to the rules. Putting these things aside for the time being, Su Chen began to refine pills for Cheng Yuheng. On the other side, Cheng Xianfeng walked back and forth with the formation diagram. The expression on his face was excited and sad. Alas. Cheng Xianfeng sighed. I thought that with my help, Su Chen's formation would be easy to capture. I didn't expect that I would be unsure of the formation. Su Chen is already helping Yuheng refine medicine. If I have to trouble him again to set up the formation, wouldn't it be a disgrace to my Cheng family? Cheng Xianfeng smiled bitterly. This formation is too complicated. If he sets it up alone, it is likely to go wrong. In this case, we must find some reinforcement. Cheng Xianfeng picked up the phone and put it down, picked it up and put it down again. He was very hesitant about the selection of reinforcement. In the end, Cheng Xianfeng carefully selected and chose two people. The first person was his seventh brother, Cheng Xianzhen. Cheng Xianzhen is also a prodigy of the Cheng family, ranked 10th on the Qingyang list of Shangjing Immortal Masters. The other person is Cheng Xianfeng's good friend, Taoist Zhang Taiyan of Zuanyuan Mansion in Xianqi Mountain. Zhang Taiyan is a disciple of the Xianqi of Zuanyuan Mansion. There are only a few people in the world who can match his understanding of formations and talismans. Moreover, Zhang Taiyan is also a spiritual power immortal master and a yin and yang practitioner. In addition, Zhang Taiyan is also a body refining Shanren realm expert and a dual god realm expert. With the help of these two people, Cheng Xianfeng thinks he should be able to complete the formation within a week. Cheng Xianfeng first called Zhang Taiyan to inform him. Zhang Taiyan agreed without hesitation. Then, Cheng Xianfeng called Cheng Xiansen again. The call was connected. Hey. Second brother, you actually have the leisure to call me. What do you want? A noisy voice came from the speaker, followed by a slightly frivolous voice. Cheng Xiansen is more than 10 years younger than Cheng Xianfeng, and is only in his early 30s now. He has always had an unstable personality, and always likes to play. Cheng Xianfeng heard the noise, and knew that Cheng Xiansen was having fun outside again. Yu Heng has something urgent here, and needs your help. Come to Dongzhou province immediately. Cheng Xianfeng said. He also said, come quietly, don't alarm anyone, and don't leak the news to anyone. Cheng Xiansen immediately became nervous when he heard that Cheng Xianfeng's tone was not right. He hurriedly asked, what's wrong? Second brother, is Yu Heng in trouble? Cheng Xianfeng didn't want to explain to Cheng Xiansen, don't talk nonsense. Why are you asking so many questions? Just come here right away. Although Cheng Xianfeng didn't explain, his tone had already explained the seriousness of the problem. I'll be there in the afternoon. Cheng Xiansen left 3 words and hung up the phone. Then, Cheng Xiansen dropped everything and set off directly. Yu Heng, wait for your uncle. Cheng Xiansen's face showed worry. He has a very good relationship with Cheng Yu Heng. Cheng Yu Heng is the pride of the Cheng family. From childhood to adulthood, he has been called the hope of the Cheng family by the head of the Cheng family. Later, he set a precedent for Cheng Yu Heng, skipping the generation of Cheng Xianfeng and Cheng Xiansen, and directly designated Cheng Yu Heng as the young master and the next patriarch. Although, this looks brilliant. But in fact, only Cheng Yu Heng herself knows the pain. Her name is Yu Heng, which is taken from the star Lianson in the sky. The meaning it represents is responsibility, enterprising and extraordinary. Cheng Yu Heng was under great pressure at a young age. Of course, it is also because her talent is strong enough that she can attract such attention. However, there are too many eyes focused on her, and the proportion of friendly people is much lower. Especially some people who covet the position and power of the Cheng family hate her madly in their hearts. But Cheng Xiansen is different from others. He has always been playful, free and easy, and has no interest in power. In addition, Cheng Xiansen is only a few years older than Cheng Yu Heng. Therefore, his uncle is almost like his brother, and he has been playing with Cheng Yu Heng since he was a child. Cheng Xiansen really loves this niece, so he guessed that Cheng Yu Heng had something to do and did not dare to delay for a moment. Soon, Cheng Xiansen rushed to Dongzhou province. In fact, people from the Shangjing Liu family arrived in the capital of Dongzhou province at the same time as him. The Liu family's plane arrived half an hour earlier than Cheng Xiansen. Yu Xinbei was waiting at the airport to pick someone up. Brother Yuan Wu. Yu Xinbei's eyes lit up when he saw the Liu family. He immediately stood up and greeted him. The Liu family's visitor was named Liu Yuan Wu, a body-refining celestial being in the middle stage of the divine realm. Liu Yuan Wu was burly and had a strong aura. He stood there, his huge body like a black bear. Zhang Xian too was already strong enough, but if he stood in front of Liu Yuan Wu, he would probably be like an ordinary person. At first glance, it can be seen that Liu Yuan Wu is a horizontal body refining, focusing only on explosive power and defense, and giving up agility and speed. Liu Yuan Wu is the son of the head of the Liu family and the father of Liu Xiaohang. In fact, he is just Liu Xiaohang's uncle. Beside Liu Yuan Wu, there was a young man with gloomy eyes. When the young man saw Yu Xinbei, a trace of disdain and disgust flashed in his eyes. However, these two emotions were quickly hidden by him, and then he showed a kind smile to Yu Xinbei. It was obvious that this guy was a scheming person. Brother Yuan Wu. Xiaoming. You are here. Yu Xinbei went over first and greeted the two people. Liu Yuan Wu muffled his voice and asked like thunder, Xinbei, where is the bastard who injured Xiaohang? Today, I will tear this bastard alive. He came to the provincial capital of Dongzhou with only one purpose. That is, to stand up for his cheap son and maintain the face of the Liu family. Yu Xinbei's face was happy, and he hurriedly said, Brother Yuan Wu, that bastard is called Su Chen. Now, he is hiding in the villa of the Cheng family in the provincial capital of Dongzhou. When he went to the Liu family in Beijing to complain, Yu Xinbei deliberately did not say that Cheng Shai and Feng came forward to protect Su Chen. Because he knew that, if the Liu family knew Cheng Shai and Feng's attitude, they would probably choose to make a big deal out of it and only send a junior to deal with it. First update. Happy New Year's Eve everyone. Chapter 699. Unavoidable. In the Shangjing Liu family, the old patriarch of the Liu family has a preference for Liu Shaohang. However, the old patriarch is old after all, and now it is the eldest uncle of the Liu family who is in charge. However, the eldest uncle of the Liu family may not choose to offend the Shangjing Cheng family for this cheap nephew. If the Shangjing Liu family does not make a contribution in the end, it will be extremely difficult for Yu Xinbei to kill Su Chen. Yu Xinbei knows in his heart that with Su Chen's terrifying talent, if he grows up safely, he will definitely die, because he has already made a complete enemy with Su Chen. This result, Yu Xinbei feels terrible just thinking about it. Therefore, even if it is a lie, he will drag the Liu family into the water and do his best to strangle Su Chen in the cradle. At this time, Liu Xiaoming on the side frowned slightly. Is it still involved in the Cheng family? Liu Xiaoming raised his eyebrows and asked in a deep voice, Uncle Liu, what is the relationship between Su Chen and the Cheng family? Do you know? A young man from Dongzhou province was actually protected by the Shangjing Cheng family, which made him feel that something was wrong. After all, the Cheng family in Shangjing has always been very aloof and rarely involved in messy things. Yu Xinbei's eyes flickered, and he was about to make up some excuses. At this time, before Yu Xinbei could speak, Liu Yuanwu said disdainfully, Humph. A mere bumpkin from Dongzhou province, an unknown thing. What relationship can he have with the Cheng family? Maybe he just knows someone under the Cheng family. Now, there is no way to offend our Liu family, so he tried to get into the Cheng family villa in an attempt to escape. Let's go. Let's go find him now. Liu Yuanwu was very arbitrary. The foundation of their Liu family is not in Dongzhou province, and the only spies in Dongzhou province are the Dong group. And now, Jin Donglei and his son have other ideas, and they are not so attentive to reporting intelligence. In addition, Yu Xinbei interfered, causing the Liu family to not even know the situation of Cheng Shai and Feng in Dongzhou province. Liu Yuanwu directly asked Yu Xinbei to lead the way to the Cheng family villa. They didn't even think about caring about Liu Shaohang's situation first. It can be seen that the biggest reason for the two to come to the capital of Dongzhou province was because of the face of the Liu family, not Liu Shaohang. Soon, a group of people hurried to the Cheng family villa. Yu Xinbei directly pretended that he was Su Chen's friend and asked the servants to report and call Su Chen out. The servants came to report. Su Chen was confused, but still got up and went out. Outside the Cheng family villa, Su Chen saw Yu Xinbei and others. The moment their eyes touched, Yu Xinbei almost couldn't hold back the murderous intent that gushed out. Yu Xinbei, what do you want to do? Su Chen said coldly. Yu Xinbei bit his back teeth and said, Su Chen, you are so comfortable staying in the Cheng family. Su Chen smiled when he heard this. He chuckled and said, I'm indeed very comfortable. However, I see that Inspector Yu's complexion doesn't seem to have a good rest. Seeing Su Chen's arrogant look, Yu Xinbei wanted to pinch him to death immediately. However, he still held back his anger and bowed to Liu Yuanwu beside him, saying, Brother Yuanwu, this bastard is Su Chen. Liu Yuanwu looked down at Su Chen. There was a fighting spirit in his eyes. He questioned, Su Chen? It's you who ruined my son Shaohang? When Su Chen heard this, he immediately understood the origin of the big guy in front of him. It's me. Su Chen looked at Liu Yuanwu calmly and fearlessly. Seeing Su Chen so calm, Liu Yuanwu was stunned for a moment. He thought Su Chen would quibble. Very good. Since you admit it, then you can die. Liu Yuanwu's voice fell. In an instant, his muscles all over his body were pumping, like blowing up a balloon, and they quickly became plump and filled with violent power. Liu Yuanwu raised his fist as big as a casserole and smashed it hard at Su Chen's face. The powerful force seemed to vibrate the space and create tiny cracks. Seeing this, Su Chen quickly mobilized the physical strength of the Vajrarahud realm and gathered it all on his fist. Mobilizing the whole body's strength in one place can make Su Chen faster and more explosive. In a flash, Su Chen's arm was like a layer of golden and glorious armor. He was not afraid at all and rushed towards Liu Yuanwu's heavy fist. Bang! The two fists hit each other. The size of their fists was very different. However, the power in them was earth-shaking. Rumble. A loud sound like breaking a mountain, and breaking rocks burst out. Obviously there was no fluctuation of vitality, just a collision of power. However, the collision of the two fists caused the ground under their feet to collapse half a foot instantly. The earth shook. The doors and walls of the surrounding houses shook slightly. The other people present only felt a strong wind coming at them, which made their ears numb. The two retreated at the touch. Looking at the scene again, Liu Yuanwu did not move at all. But Su Chen staggered back 4 or 5 steps before slowly unloading the power. Su Chen looked at Liu Yuanwu with a cautious look. This person is extremely strong and has a very high physical toughness. He could feel that Liu Yuanwu's punch just now was just ordinary power and had not fully exploded. If this person exploded with all his strength, I'm afraid that he would find it difficult to withstand the opponent's attack. Su Chen calculated in his heart. His vitality could not break Liu Yuanwu's physical defense at all, and his physical strength would be crushed by the opponent. Apart from speed, there is almost no advantage. If he uses mental power to deal with Liu Yuanwu, I'm afraid that he has talismans or magic weapons that are immune to mental power. Is this the strength of the Liu family? No wonder you dare to come to the Cheng family to trouble me. Su Chen was secretly shocked. At this moment, Liu Yuanwu's shock was no less than Su Chen's. He stared at Su Chen with eyes like copper bells. His eyes were full of astonishment. This kid in front of him, his physical strength is so strong. He has never seen someone who is not as good as himself and can take his punch. He is quite capable. No wonder he dares to challenge my Liu family. Liu Yuanwu's eyes were burning with fighting spirit. He said in a muffled voice, however, today I will let you know what it means to bring disaster upon yourself. As soon as the words fell, Liu Yuanwu shouted loudly. The next second, his muscles swelled again, and he exuded a terrifying aura like a prehistoric beast. Liu Yuanwu sneered and raised his huge fist. This time, his punch was full of explosive power. Compared with the previous punch, the power of this punch was several times greater. Liu Yuanwu believed that Su Chen would not be able to take his punch no matter what. Su Chen looked solemn. He was almost at full strength in the previous punch. It can be predicted that if Liu Yuanwu hits him with this punch now, even with the invincible golden body and the physical toughness of the Vajrasahat realm, he will suffer a heavy blow. At this time, Yuzhenbei shouted, "Brother Yuanwu, this kid has a super fast magical power and is always good at escaping. I'll help you cut off his retreat." While speaking, Yuzhenbei also rushed towards Su Chen. The fire attribute of the Yuan-Qi flame burst out and entangled Su Chen. The flame was like a dragon, surrounding Su Chen. Yuzhenbei wanted to use this to force Su Chen to give up escaping and face Liu Yuanwu's punch. For a while, Su Chen had no way to avoid it. The second update is here. Brothers, Happy New Year's Eve. Let's update these to the chapters today. I have to walk around and kowtow. These 2 days, I'm very busy. I've squeezed time to write. Brothers, please be patient for 2 days. During the Spring Festival, everyone should understand. Others are chatting, playing cards, eating, drinking, and the poor author is still typing. Please forgive me. Good night, everyone. I wish all brothers and sisters a smooth and prosperous year of the rabbit. Chapter 700 Feng Shui Compass. Liu Yuanwu's fist was overbearing and fierce. Yuzhenbei used all his strength to mobilize his vitality, and the blazing flames rushed wildly, blocking Su Chen's way back, forcing him to move forward. Liu Xiaoming frowned slightly. He felt something was wrong with such a big fight at the gate of the Cheng family's villa in Shangjing. However, even if he wanted to stop it, Liu Yuanwu and Yuzhenbei had already started. Even if he shouted at this time, the two could not stop their strength, but would only distract them. The blazing vitality was surging all around, and Su Chen had no choice but to withstand this destructive punch. At this moment, whoosh, a stream of light suddenly flashed by quickly. At the same time, a clear shout rang out. "How dare you! Dare to burn my Cheng family's villa. The Liu family is really great. Bang. A loud bang exploded. Liu Yuanwu's fist was forced to stop 1 meter in front of Su Chen. In front of him, an invisible protective shield resisted his huge fist. Everyone was startled and looked over. As a result, they saw a young man with purple hair suddenly blocking Su Chen and Liu Yuanwu. The purple-haired man was wearing a riveted leather jacket and leather pants, which was very fashionable. But in his hand, he was holding something that didn't match his outfit. It was a compass. The purple-haired man held the compass in one hand and chanted a spell with the other. A magical aura flowed above the compass. In the end, it evolved into a transparent protective shield that blocked Liu Yuanwu's fist. Liu Yuanwu punched hard on the shield with great force. Boom. A loud noise. In an instant. On the transparent shield, the flowing light kept flashing, and the phantom of mountains and peaks appeared. Creak. A slight twisting sound was heard. The shield was slightly concave. As if it couldn't bear it, Liu Yuanwu's power exploded. At this time, a sneer flashed across the face of the purple-haired man. Then, he changed his gestures and shouted, "Get out of here." The next second, above the light shield, a huge wave could be seen surging and rushing back towards Liu Yuanwu. Bang! The sunken light curtain bounced back instantly. The huge force was so strong that even Liu Yuanwu could not bear it and bounced him back directly. Whoosh! Liu Yuanwu flew backwards, changing his body shape in the air, and finally staggered and fell to the ground. He was in a mess. His arms couldn't help but tremble wildly. Liu Yuanwu stared at the compass in the purple-haired man's hand and gritted his teeth and said, "Magic weapon. This is the power of the Feng Shui master of the Cheng family." He used his mental power to integrate the Feng Shui trend of mountains and rivers into the magic weapon. When fighting, he used his mental power to stimulate the magic weapon and release the Feng Shui formation. This method is a bit similar to the formation plate, but it is much more advanced than the formation plate. If the formation plate is just a 2D movie, then the Feng Shui magic weapon of the Cheng family is equivalent to 3D, giving people a more realistic feeling. Moreover, the formation plate forms the attack power with talismans. The talisman is comprehended from the heaven and earth, and is born from the mountains and rivers. The Feng Shui magic weapon of the Cheng family directly copies the power of the mountains and seas, or directly absorbs a wisp of the Feng Shui energy of the mountains and seas for its own use. The difference is difficult to measure. More importantly, the Feng Shui magic weapon of the Cheng family can continue to be nourished by the Feng Shui energy, and then its power will continue to increase. But once the Feng Shui array is completed, it will only be damaged, and it will be difficult to improve it. Liu Yuanwu was naturally terrified. On the other side, Su Chen saw someone helping him to block Liu Yuanwu, and immediately acted decisively. Although, he didn't know where the person came from. But for him, this is an excellent opportunity. Su Chen decisively used the golden light of the earth. Whoosh! The golden light flashed. His figure forcibly rushed through the flame dragons that were blocking all around, and approached Yu Bei. Su Chen? Yu Bei was shocked by the sudden appearance of the purple-haired man, and suddenly found Su Chen rushing towards him. His face was shocked. Just now, he had gone all out to block Su Chen's retreat, leaving no spare energy at all. At this moment, seeing Su Chen rushing towards him, Yu Bei quickly withdrew his hand, trying to mobilize his vitality to hold Su Chen back. However, Su Chen did not give him this opportunity at all. The physical strength of the Vajrasattva realm instantly gathered in his right fist and smashed towards Yu Bei's chest. Bang! A loud noise. Ah! Yu Bei screamed in pain. Then, the whole person followed Liu Yuanwu and flew backwards. From Liu Yuanwu punching Su Chen again, Yu Bei bursting out his vitality to block the retreat, to the purple-haired man sending Liu Yuanwu flying, and Su Chen punching Yu Bei. It all happened in an instant. It sounds troublesome, but in fact it took less than half a second. At this speed, if ordinary people saw it, they would even feel that the picture was broken. The eyes did not have time to form an image, and the brain did not have time to react. Not to mention ordinary people, even Liu Xiaoming, who was at the peak of the Xianshan realm, did not react for a while. When he came to his senses, Liu Yuanwu and Yu Bei had already flown out. At this time, The purple-haired young man dressed in non-mainstream style put away the compass while cursing. Damn. What is this? You family, do you really think you are a big shot? You dare to come to the Cheng family's villa to act wild? Do you really think our Cheng family is easy to bully? The non-mainstream young man said, turning his head to look at Su Chen, looking him up and down. Su Chen also looked at this person. If he hadn't heard what the purple-haired man said just now, he really suspected that this person was not from the Cheng family. This is so different from Cheng Xianfeng. Cheng Xianfeng is elegant and noble, and this guy in front of him, no matter how you look at it, is no different from the gaily Uzi on the street. Moreover, this style and clothing are even more exaggerated than the gaily Uzi. The purple-haired man looked at Su Chen, nodded and praised, "You are a good kid. You acted decisively, chose the right time, and acted ruthlessly. I like it very much. Those who dare to come to the Cheng family to provoke should be beaten like this. Let them come in standing and roll out." After the purple-haired man finished speaking, he turned his head and looked at Liu Xiaoming. He narrowed his eyes and released a danger signal. In an instant, Liu Xiaoming was frightened and shivered, and cold sweat ran down his face. He had recognized who the purple-haired man in front of him was. Damn. Unlucky. Liu Xiaoming cursed in his heart. Why did he meet this guy? If it were any other member of the Cheng family, they would not start a war right away. Misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. Liu Xiaoming hurriedly saluted respectfully. Liu Xiaoming of the Liu family, meet the 7th Master Cheng. The non-mainstream purple-haired man in front of him was the 7th son of the Cheng family, Cheng Xianzhen. That is, Cheng Xianfeng's 7th brother. In the Cheng family, Cheng Xianzhen has a completely different style from the others. He is a well-known slippery guy, unruly, and hard-working person. He is notorious and frightening. No one from the big families in Changjing wants to run into Cheng Xianzhen. It is said that Cheng Xianzhen has a weird personality. When he is in a good mood, he can play with anyone, such as the cleaners who sweep the floor in Changjing. But when he is irritable, he can be close to others 1 second, and then he can directly attack others the next second, such as the young master of the Changjing nobles. He has an unpredictable personality and acts without any rules, but he has a prominent background and strong strength. How could Liu Xiaoming not be afraid of such a person? First update. Happy Chinese New Year, everyone. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.